What's up, guys? And this is the first actual episode of my nostalgia series. So yeah, and like I said, I am going to have nostalgia videos. This video will probably be around 2 hours long. So yeah. Now a lot of it's just gonna be me here sitting, but for my basement ones, I'm probably going to be sitting, but also for a few, I'm probably going to be playing video games. In at least this first season, I still have, you know, all the other seasons to do, however many seasons I'm going to do.
Watching some more 5 Minute Crafts, please let's hope some of these are medically accurate. Like at least one. Huge thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. What is this inflatable thing? This is for? Okay. Okay. No, no, no. No. Ain't no way she's doing that. I just don't buy it. And ain't no way this guy is cool with sleeping with a unicorn inflatable medicine. Like I've heard of sleep divorces, and I'm sure that's how they happen. Why is he sleeping with one in his pocket? Like, I don't know what that is. Awkward sleeping position. Lower back fatigue ball, exercise ball, bouncy ball. Okay, actually, I'm not a fan, and bear noses, of the giant medicine balls as a thing to do all day at work. Because what happens is you fatigue your back even more, you stress it out, you cause muscle spasms, you essentially are taking an undertrained back and forcing it to run a marathon. Does that seem smart? Not really typing a craft. There's a cactus on her belly, and she rubbed, she laughed, she also rubs it. What kind of office space is this? And they're just rubbing cacti. Is there like a culture where rubbing a cactus is good luck, like a rabbit's foot or something? It's a pen. She opens the pen. What is happening? First of all, where is she getting all these pen caps from? That's a hack to stop people from rubbing your belly? What about like a lawsuit? Because like people shouldn't come up and just rub your tummy at work. And jeans that don't fit. It happens. Fold them. Oh, is that a pregnancy tip? You just fold them over and walk? I mean, I don't know if that's a tip. My buttons don't close. I guess I'll just leave it open. Life hack. She's struggling with steps, which is reasonable if someone has back pain. So now she's going to give herself some added support. I have no idea how that helped her walk up the steps, and her acting is absolutely terrible. She's never winning naturally that kind of performance. But if you want to give yourself a little support, I'm not going to hate. Okay, you got a belly here, a sneeze. Okay, oh, when you sneeze or cough or anytime you increase intra-abdominal pressure, you could inadvertently release some urine. My friend is laughing and being judgmental. What's that nice? What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? Cross her legs. And she didn't. She crossed her legs. Okay, I have a good friend, Dr. Vyas, who's a pelvic floor rehab specialist from PM&R, which is physical medicine and rehabilitation. They can literally teach you how to strengthen your pelvic floor to have better control. Right? Rather you have the exercises to strengthen the area rather than use a hack. It's hot, so she puts her bras in the freezer. I saw the cabbage thing before and I thought I saw it all. I mean, if you're that hot, I guess that's something. You can just use like a pack. These hacks have gone from inaccurate to just mostly useless and ridiculous. Orbeez, you wait 4 hours and you see your giant orbs. These are like marbled or something. 2 Ziploc bags. You freeze them and then let it froze. Let it froze. Okay, frozen Orbeez. Oh, right on the breast. I'm gonna make a statement on this channel. Whatever object that is non-toxic, non-dangerous to humans or others that you would enjoy freezing and placing to give you comfort is probably okay. I've seen the cabbage, I've seen the clothes, the bras, now the Orbeez. What happened to good old-fashioned meat? Just don't do this with meat, by the way, because when you defrost the meat and then freeze it again, the bacteria can actually multiply and grow and become a problem. She's trying to reach for a book. She can't. He's like I was just asking. Is this a lesson on how to not communicate with your partner? Wow, that guy's man. What is he? Did my guy really say, I don't want to pick out the book that you want, so here's a vacuum cleaner, so suck the book out? It was easier for him to go across to the other side of the room and pick out the vacuum? Bro, only 5-minute practice. Man, we got some sniffles. Fever, it seems. Okay, what did we get? Oh, we got it. Onion! You know what that means? I don't, but 5-minute practice knows. Let's see. She's gonna take a nap. Wait, what is the hack? What does it do? What is the promise?
I don't understand.
Onion and fever, they don't go together. So hot. That's me at night, actually. Let's see what the tip is. Okay, she's very sweaty. Very sweaty. I understand the struggle. Okay, we get it. You were sweating. Let's get the hack. The freezer! Bro, it should just be called 5-Minute Crafts Freezer Edition. So now it's frozen and hard. But it's now. And how long do you think it stays cool with your body temperature heating it up? It's gonna have literal ice on it because you sweat into it, and then you froze it, and then you're gonna lay on ice all night. You think that's good for your skin? Direct contact with ice? No. Frostbite, irritation. Back to the crafts in just a second, but first I want to talk to you about NordVPN, a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. When I'm traveling outside the US, that means a lot of the shows and movies I would normally stream are no longer available. But when I use NordVPN, I can set my location to the US, so I can have streaming access to my shows like I'm sitting at home on my couch. NordVPN creates an encrypted tunnel for your data, protects your online identity by hiding your IP address, and allows you to use public Wi-Fi hotspots safely. Nord is not just a simple VPN though, but also offers threat protection, a malware blocker without additional costs for a limited time. And you won't have to worry about speed because the tests have proved it. NordVPN is the fastest VPN on the market. Compatibility won't be an issue either, as NordVPN runs on Windows, Android, iOS, macOS, Linux, even your Android TV. For the holiday season, they've also got a great deal right now where you can get 4 months free when you sign up for a 2-year plan. To get started, all you have to do is visit nordvpn.com/Dr. Mike. Remember, doctor is spelled out. And try it risk-free right now with a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's so easy, and it just takes one click. All right, let's get back to these ridiculous crafts. We're washing feet. We're washing feet using the other foot. Okay. Is that a hack to show how to wash feet if you can't reach your feet? That's the same thing that you do when you wash your hands. When you wash your hands, do you wash one hand at a time? No, you go, hi hand, clean hand number 2. Look, washy washy. So you do the same thing with your feet. How is that a hack? Thirsty? Then swallow. Whoa! Science. This guy has really cool blue eyes. Like they're digitally enhanced stuff. What does she got? Shoes. He has a shoe. Wait, why did he take off his shoe? Okay, wait. He took a shoe. And he's making his shoe. Are they shoes to help your feet dry? How is that any better than what was happening already? I'm so confused. That hack took longer than any benefit that it brought to you. A hack has to maximize benefit. I'm treating this like a FDA. This item has to have proven benefit and known and limited risks. There was no benefit to that. No bathroom issue, standing issue. Okay, that can happen. It is hard. I understand, especially if you've hurt your low back or if you have sciatica. Well, in that case, we do put, we give patients things like this. This is all accessibility. Like, we have a home nurse that can come to your home, make adjustments, make safety recommendations, rails, guardrails, all of these things. This is probably the first 5-minute craft I co-signed. Okay, cell phone's vibrating, emails are coming in, overwhelmed feeling, stress ball. Oh, what are we gonna do? Stress ball, foot massage. It's not a hack to say, go get a massage. That's you buying an item to massage yourself because you enjoy massages. It's not a hack. Imagine you get that much joy from rolling a little spiky ball in your foot. I wonder what her rating is on WikiFeet. Last we checked, what was my rating? This person is feeling hot on the beach, so they put on a foot pad to walk on the beach. Okay. My friend actually made an item like this for dogs called Paw Savers. It's quite similar, but just for dogs. I just noticed that how this is a hack versus them selling an item. Does she have a Wi-Fi signal? What was that? She just put, what is she? She put 4 Band-Aids on her mouth? won't snore again. Snoring doesn't come from your lips. Snoring comes from the oropharynx, not this. Who snores like? You snore. That's what sleep apnea is. That's what snoring is dangerous. Because it's literally your airway closing, because the airway relaxes and the muscles relax when you fall asleep, so they can potentially close off, and that's why you wake up and then you don't get good quality rest. Full sleep. Okay, we have socks with holes. Okay, we're gonna double sock. Why would you double up? Now your feet are gonna sweat extra, and then you're gonna get a fungal infection on your toe, and you're gonna come see me, and I'm gonna tell you that if you use a topical treatment, it can take up to 48 weeks to work, and it may not even work all the time. But if I give you an oral treatment, it'll take about 12 weeks to work. You'll have a better success of working. There's a side effect of potentially causing liver inflammation, leading to liver enzyme elevation, which I would have to follow with blood tests before and at the 6-week mark, and you're gonna have to make a decision. All that from an extra sock. Hi, I'm Macaulay Culkin, and today I'm going to introduce you to my favorite puzzle game, the Royal. We have a person who's getting motion sick. They're struggling in the back seat. They're going to count. Oh no, they're going to tuck their finger. Okay. Distraction methods for motion sickness can work, but I will say if it doesn't, don't be disappointed, because in the majority of cases that's not the solution. Trouble sleeping all the time. Tired and wired. That's my situation. Okay? Onions! Reduce stress levels by smelling. Are you kidding me? If I smell an onion before going to sleep, that's going to reduce my stress. I don't want to leave the bedroom if it smells like onions. I'm going to feel like Bear farted if I smell onions. Okay? More motion sickness. Poor girl still in this car, trapped. Okay, she's loosening her hair tie. She's putting on a bracelet. She got a potato! They've upgraded from the onion. Honestly, if you are motion sick and you start worrying about whether or not you have a potato, that could distract you so much, because your head's going to be so confused while you're looking for a potato that it might just cure motion sickness. Got an allergy? I don't know if that looks like an allergy to me. That looks more like maculopapular rash, or perhaps some rosacea or acne. Let's see what their recommendation is. All right, so makeup, allergy check. Okay. Do not do your own skin testing at home. Please leave it to us in the medical community. If anything, we can deduce it from the history of what you're allergic to. And if we need to, we can do proper skin testing so it's objective, it's accurate. Okay, with the person whose leg fell asleep from sitting cross-legged. Spasm. Oh, they have a spasm with x-ray vision. She's going to rub on her toe. And if you rub on your toe, that's good luck. And spasms can go away with good luck. I promise rubbing toes does not relieve spasms in your calf. Like, I could even see if they said if you had anterior shin pain and you rub the area around your thumb, that could help. Because at least the tibialis anterior attaches to the thumb. So maybe you could say if you're rubbing the attachment, you're doing something. But they're rubbing the top part of your foot, and then your areas on the back of your leg that spasm. They're not even connected. And what are we doing here? Laughing, 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 laughing. Falling. Tripping. Oh, that's one big bruise to get on a carpet from taking 3 steps. Okay, deodorant stops bleeding. Okay, first of all, your body stops bleeding. On a cut like this, all I would do is wash it out with some warm water, maybe some mild soap, no deodorant, alcohol, no peroxide. All that's going to just irritate the area further. You don't need any of that. And that bandage! I don't care that it has an emoji on it, but you're putting the sticky part on the scab. Do you know how uncomfortable that is? That's one of the worst videos. She's acting. She deserves an Oscar. My teeth hurt. Probably time to go to the dentist. Sugar-free baby food. Is that sugar-free baby food? There's mango there. Mango has sugar. There's no sugar added, but there's sugar there. Freeze. Okay. And now what? Those are frozen fruit snacks. Those still have sugar. Those still have sugar! Ooh, I hate when you hit your knee on the corner of the table. That's so painful. Ooh, or the elbow and you get that funny bone. By the way, the funny bone's not a funny bone. It's the ulnar nerve, or the ulnar nerve group that you hit. That's why it sends that signal, because it's like, it's a weird pain. Nerve pain is unique. It's different than any other pain. That's why when doctors ask you, describe the pain, we're not just like looking for a number. We're looking for the type of pain. Is it aching? Is it dull? Is it stabbing? Shooting? Is it throbbing? Is it electric? Electric pain can be nerve pain. Throbbing pain can be artery-related pain, like an aneurysm. All those things point us to a conclusion. Sponge. I feel like a freezer's coming. Sponge. Wait, a sponge that's not even cold? Bro, you just wiped off makeup. You didn't remove a bruise. Brushing teeth. Pimple. Ooh. Right hand. Whoa, that pimple just grew in size. Okay, what is the dry skin coming from? Distilled water, orange oil. Oh my god, don't do this. Medicinal herbs. Medicinal herbs! No explanation what the herbs are. This looks like cheese. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like shredded cheddar. Just like we have ingredients that are proven to do certain things that are tested dermatologically. Why would you do this with questionable medicinal herbs? Where do you even go and buy medicinal herbs? Yesterday, I had a patient that broke out in a terrible contact dermatitis, chemical irritant dermatitis probably, from like one of these types of facials. Needed oral steroids, it was that bad actually. Right? You're gonna get a tan with those things on? Yeah, but that's not healthy either. You're gonna increase your risk of skin cancer by doing that. I also feel like that's a spray tan. Cool suntan. How is that a cool? Nothing about that was cool. Oh, that looks like a fungal infection. Athlete's foot. Like the mom knows what to do with a balloon. That's literally the worst thing you can do for athlete's foot. You just made the child sweat double the amount, decrease air circulation, and have increased the risk for worsening athlete's foot. Congratulations, 5-Minute Craft. You made your child look absolutely ridiculous, like they have balloon toes, and have worsened their medical condition. Okay, we have a modeling exhibition of sorts, fashion show, heels, with a band-aid. Oh, so judgmental. Please help, I have a band-aid. Oh, marker. What, is she drawing a toenail? Whoa. Are they saying the band-aid becomes invisible because you painted on it? I don't have great vision, so maybe it might fool me from a distance. Security, yes, no. Is it a height thing? So she's in the no section, which is fine because that's for safety. You get a mat, you walk on the mat, cut out pieces of a mat to add to the bottom of your shoe to make you taller so that you can go where taller people are allowed to go. First of all, who has security with paper stuck to their chest and hat? You really think that's better, sir? The purpose of having you must be told to ride this ride is because of safety. So no, never do this. Never do this 5-minute craft. This person stubbed their toe, or it's hot. Oh, it's hot. That can happen. Okay. Pool noodle. Let's see the solution. It hurts my soul. I know some people might say, what if she doesn't have the money to get a flip-flop? She does. She's buying a very expensive pool. There's a very beautiful home behind her. There's a flip-flop available, even if it's not her style. Because I promise the style will be better than cutting off a pool noodle, which also costs money, getting blue painter's duct tape, and then sticking it onto your feet, and then not being able to take it off, and then when you come out wet, the tape won't stick. I'm getting really offended by a pool noodle right now. This is when you know you've gone too far. Click here to see how coffee truly affects your body. Click it. And once again, huge thank you to Nord.
So this set up a mama clip about her son.
Do something about that. Every time I'm gonna show you how to rinse that odor out.
That smells a lot better. Rinse impossible odors out in one wash.
Dad, what should I do if we're looking to update our wardrobe?
Well, when I was your age, I didn't have something like Stitch Fix now.
The following are banned in voice chat. Giving birth, doing drugs, denying that you are on copious amounts of drugs even though it's obvious that you are on copious amounts of drugs, taking a hit without turning off your mic and camera, showing unsolicited car radio pictures, and explaining to people where to buy drugs. She did what? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific. Imagine Dragon's job is to come up with music that will get your cousin to join the army. I feel like I've never heard any Imagine Dragons music in a military ad before. Have they been used for that? I mean, it sounds about right, but anyway, honestly, who the hell actually likes sparkling water? That tastes like TV static. It does. However, when you're trying to wean off soda, like I did, it's so helpful to get that bubbly bullshit. But knowing you're really just drinking water and not not something with aspartame or sucralose or, regular old fructose corn syrup. Well, at least here in the US anyway. I'm a little upset I've never been given a sticker after sex. Did you do a good job? Ravens are right. Life is about collecting shiny trinkets and bringing bad omens and pestering men until they descend into madness. That kind of feels like my dream job, but I've never been offered it once in my life. Oh well. Yeah, I'm on board with this one. Money pulled out of anywhere other than your purse, pocket, or wallet will not be accepted. For example, bra, socks, underpants, etc. Yeah, don't give people your sweaty, nasty f***ing money. I'm so happy that people are finally drawing that line. I mean, they probably have been for a really long time, but I'm happy they're still doing it, The wildest party of all time got canceled. A f***ing hall. So large that it could supply every man, woman, and child in Britain twice has been seized in Southampton. Wait just a minute. Supplied with how much? And also, wasn't this like Miriam Margolyes' rental home or something that this happened in? Or am I thinking of a different story entirely? Passenger loading zone, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., 2:15 p.m. to 3:13 p.m. Yeah, that one's a little bit weird. I can't really follow you into that dark tunnel. I wish babies can only explode on a Tuesday when holding a hot dog. Are you trying to be very random funny? Only the U.S. forces you to give birth, while forcing you to pay tens of thousands of dollars to give birth, while not letting you have time off to give birth. Oh man, we could talk about this for miles and miles down the road. TSA penalty. No threats, no verbal abuse, no physical violence of any kind. If you threaten, endanger, or harm transportation security officers during screening, TSA will pursue criminal penalties and fines up to $13,910. Thank you for your cooperation. That is a very, very specific fine. And I totally understand the rules here. Don't be an absolute, don't touch me or punch me, push me, whatever. That's pretty normal. However, TSA lads and lasses out there, you don't have the right to be a jackass to us either. I hope this email finds you laid up with a bad scheming on your next move, counting money, plotting the expansion of your empire. I don't want an empire! How much Robux could I buy with, well, that sure is a lot of money you have. Why is that? This one feels lame. Come on. From Trivia Murder Party 2 in the Quiplash minigame on the Jackbox Party Pack 6. The best name for a 1970s TV show about a curmudgeonly detective who solves crimes with help from a wisecracking teenage werewolf. Oh, whatever, it might be specific, but you'd watch it. Teen Wolf, Mystery Files. The tagline is something like, snipping out a crime, or this dog has its day. The show was poorly received by critics, but it's such an audience hit it runs for 8 seasons. Is that what you were about to say? PS1 games are wild. Aline Cedrak, or Kedrak, I don't know, 27 years old, ethnology professor at the Boston University, characteristic, father unknown. What game is this for? Oh, it's Alone in the Dark! Okay, cool, okay, gotcha. Oh man, I am excited for that remake, I'm so excited. Why wouldn't there be a bathroom on board? Captain Cocktail's Public and Private Cruises, the party with a party boat with a bathroom on it? I feel like party boats generally do have that, right? If you pulled into your driveway, got out of the truck, and went inside, after doing that, a cop turns his lights on, pulls into your driveway, and tries to pull you over for X, would he have any grounds? Would I be evading if I didn't answer the door? That is an interesting question. I mean, it's weirdly written, but what you're trying to ask is, if you already made it home, pulled into your driveway, and walked inside, and then a police officer tried to pull you over, would they be able to do anything? I'm sure they could come up with something. They like to. If you walk in a circle with a radius of about 6 feet for over an hour, the radius of your circle will naturally decrease. And if you then try to walk in a straight line, you'll just walk in a circle. It'll take a significant amount of effort to not walk on a curve, and it will feel very weird. Thank you for letting me know, because now I'm not going to do this. Is this true? It would only take an hour to find out. Tell me how it goes. Not just chocolate brown, chocolate raisin brown. That is a very specific color. Khaki green animal, monochrome print. Weird. Oddly specific engine name, especially considering its actual size is 581cc. Rotax 583 Rave. you're not dying, pay me. What? One very annoying thing about working in an American ER is how often I go see my patient, and registration/billing are in the middle of pestering them about their insurance card or putting a credit card down. Yeah, they walk into my hospital room, I'm gonna tell them to f*** off. This is getting ridiculous. This is getting out of hand. I mean, it already is out of hand. It has been since probably well before I was born, but nah, this is ridiculous. Not that I would expect anyone to remember. I can't remember how to write 1, 1000, 51, 6, and 500 in Roman numerals. I thought 50 was L. Wasn't it an L? Oh, it's a joke. I'm livid. Gotcha. Okay, I was kind of thinking that's what they were setting it up for. It's what it felt like. It was too specific to be true. Not true. What's the word? Doesn't matter. Some people have resting face. Adam Driver has resting professor of theology listening to his students present a report on religious symbolism in medieval art that they copied off of Wikipedia page. I guess I don't see it, but clearly you do. Circuit gays be like, Miami's not ready for us. As if we've never seen a group of 4 spray-tanned Planet Fitness Black Card members step off of their Spirit Airlines flight with no hotel reservation and spend $85 on an Uber X plus $150 on entry to Thirst Bottoms for days featuring DJ shirtless with sunglasses, plus $70 on 4 Gatorades, only to vomit behind a speaker for 2 hours, stand in line for a back alley porta potty fighting over who's taking home the TikTok famous self-proclaimed fitness model to do an OnlyFans collab in their 2-queen bedroom they booked 20 minutes ago on Hotels Tonight, but really just end up walking to Denny's in a K-hole at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. What the hell are you talking about? How I look in the mirror, how I look in photos taken immediately after. Well, quit pressing your face up against the window. What do you expect? It is New Hampshire after all. Imagine if you combined rural Idaho with the most racist parts of Boston and then sprinkle in about 10,000 rich weirdo libertarian uncles who inexplicitly became a multimillionaire starting businesses that do things like selling Ford all their windshield wipers or manufacture every single bollard on the eastern seaboard. That's basically New Hampshire. So rural Idaho, but you have to sprinkle in racist? I don't think Idaho needs specific ones sprinkled in. They got plenty of their own. My niece turned 3 today. She asked for a Lion King cake, but specifically the moment where Mufasa dies because everyone will be too sad to eat the cake and it'll all be for me. Yeah. No, I'm gonna eat that cake. Sex is cool, but have you ever had someone give you so much emotional safety that you were able to break down and process trauma right in front of them without the fear of being judged or ridiculed? Do not eat this with guilt. This is what we have eaten as a species for millions of years. Not rice, not bread, not salad, and most of all not Captain Crunch? You didn't pay attention in history class, did you? You didn't. You know what? I do love this a lot, because it's funny as hell, first of all, and if you weren't kidding and you were serious, it's really funny that you're saying that we have not been eating rice and bread and, sure, maybe not salad in the traditional sense, but vegetables in a bowl or something? Pretty sure we've been eating that since the beginning of time. My biological clock is ticking. If I don't impregnate a French redhead with short hair and black lipstick while on a secret mission for the CIA soon, then I am going to die. Okay? Wow! That's the cleanest ear canal I've ever seen. The eardrum reminds me of a slipper limpet seashell? Okay, I'm not looking that up. Misogyny check. Let your phone complete the sentence. Women are so cute. Women are not a frog. Okay, look, I don't know how long ago this was done, but I will give it a try for you right now. Alright, let's see. Women aren't the problem. Okay, there it is, folks. My preferred brightness setting is usually 87 on all devices. Well, I mean, you do you. I finally, within the last year, started letting the phones do their auto brightness, and honestly, doesn't kill battery, doesn't affect anything. I'm just gonna let it do its thing and live my life. Ted Cruz looks like he got fired from the bowling alley for the shoes. That's definitely not a real picture of him, though, but I can see what you're talking about. That's not, right? It's not, is it? Right? Can't wait to get out into those shark-infested waters. Some diver who is in a no-win situation. Gotcha. Better than drowning, or getting crushed by water pressure, or...
Keep her strong at Planet Fitness. Just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th.
The paper that I wrote
scholarships accepted, and I'm presenting my poster. I can see the results from my studies already, so I'm really hopeful about my future career.
Yeah, of course your financial plan can help support the Ruby runners, your family, and ocean conservation.
One sheet of bounty versus one sheet of the competitive plan. One sheet of bounty is two.
Or having to listen to Suzanne complain one more time about the goddamn water pressure in the shower. Very particular max size limitations. Let's see, 2160, but 20,000. That's a lot. What? The Wordmaster Scrabble app provides definitions of a word that's played. I found this word to be quite specific. Fawn? 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 A warm, dry wind that blows down the northern slopes of the Alps. That feels like a word that has never been used, ever. In any language, I'm here to share a secret of how I became rich. Wait, Baba Ogundele helped me. Call him. I saw his on social media. I was so afraid to call him, but I took the risk to call and explain to him about my financial problems. He told me to add him on WhatsApp with his number. In just 2 hours, I was so surprised, sorry. Now I'm rich, have houses, cars, filling station, travel to any country I've... Okay, that's an interesting bot scam. That's cool. Licorice candy smells like death. Have you tried Death by Blackbird yet? It's my favorite. Smells like a funeral in the rain with a freshly digged grave soil and a wet headstone, while a child is eating licorice candy. I can see the whole scene in my head. Maybe you should write that down. Build a story based off of this. Wow, that text is almost completely illegible. It's not hard to throw a stroke on something, okay? Me waiting for my 7 Bernese mountain dogs who I've raised as my sons to come of age so I can legally bequeath them the entirety of my Fortune 500 company. Redditors who have an unusual affinity for collecting discarded chewing gum from public spaces. What drives your passion, and what's the most bizarre piece in your eclectic gum collection? I'm sorry, but what the hell did you just ask? Can security services in dictatorial countries identify people from their voices when they make audio interventions in cyberspace with famous opponents of the regime residing outside the country? How should I know? This is how I imagine philosophy and psychology majors speak to each other. Oh my god. Whew, that's a lot of text. Let's see. This is where I hint that I care for you, but I can't say it outright, for I am paralyzed by my aching loneliness, too afraid to be vulnerable, which ironically would heal the very same loneliness that haunts me. I will wait for your inevitably cold reply, feeling unheard, despite it being at least partly my fault for making an all too underhanded attempt at voicing my feelings. At least a self-fulfilling prophecy is dependable. Indeed, I reply coldly, if at all, despite feeling the very same loneliness. I cannot understand your sorrows, nor you mine. How was I to know the context behind your casual text? How can I gather how much you care for me when I have become so conditioned to apathy that any semblance of hope can potentially crush me if I'm wrong? Like a simple organism stirs at warmth, I see scraps of affection and yet mistrust it when I have it. Tell me, how many lonely men and women walk around the world grasping for each other in the dark, never making contact? Want to come over? Going to the doctor for contraception starter pack. A bunch of old people in the waiting room, Googling aggressively the night before so you don't need to spend much time there. The pills will all give you cringe side effects anyway, so you gotta just deal/pick the least bad one. That one nice pharmacist who just gives you the product or asks if you want the cheaper version of it, everyone knows. Your doctor is always an old dude who doesn't understand your issue. This society will have you angrier at an unhoused person stealing $5 to eat than at a guy in a suit stealing $5 million to buy a third house. PhD in medieval stone adhesives. Both odd and extremely specific. That's interesting. Very exciting PhD position available at Archaeologist Museum. Oh, I see. Sticking Stones. Aims to explore the extent of the use of wood tar adhesives in medieval stone construction. Man, what kind of job security would you have with a PhD that hyper-specific? This a very unique power of Miss Swift I found in the facepalm section. Swifties, I don't want to break your cute hearts, but your idol is a transgender reptilian demon witch. Taylor Swift is not what you think. She clones many bodies and reincarnates into them. She puts black magic in her music and keeps you all in a spell worshipping her. Wake up. Nah. Meat Mountain sandwich at Arby's. Oh, it's so gross. Arby's is great when you want to eat something that gives you the same feeling as hurriedly closing the tabs because you're ashamed at what you just nutted to. Arby's, it's closest. When moving back in with your parents isn't an option, you really start to recognize how little help there is and how little it takes to end up with nothing. I'm not sure why this is here because it doesn't feel like a hyper-specific or oddly specific thing. This doesn't really fit the vibe, but they are correct. When you do not have the option to go home, you'd be surprised just how fast your only other option is work more or be homeless. Damn, you really go from slapping a person's naked butt cheek to never talking to them again. That happens. If your boss tells you your team at work is like family, that means you can scream, "You're not my real mom," and storm out every time they ask you to do anything. Hey, they said like family. I wish that every male's left testicle is immediately and safely teleported to the core of Uranus. The job I was about to apply for. Job description. If you like to hold a grudge and be an unreal person, do not apply. We are grown at Edible and expect grown people to apply. If you are emotional and find your feelings hurt easily, or you take everything personal, or overthink everything, we ask that you do not apply. Oh, sorry, definitely do not apply. Why does it sound like you're a nasty, disgusting place to work at, and no one should give you the time of day? Neurodivergent kids listening to music and imagining complex animations with characters from their hyperfixations? Same, yeah. I don't want kids, but if I did, I would endeavor to be this kind of mom. The kind that's like, look, I did stupid crap as a kid. I know you're going to do stupid crap as a kid. I'll try to help you be smart about the stupid crap you do so you're not staggering around a Kinko's Copies at midnight with your friends looking for condoms because you're high as hell and thinking you're at a Walgreens and that you're gonna make it to Bethany's party before her parents get home from Boston. I can dig it. Guy with a Neuralink cut me off in traffic, so I took out my Flipper Zero and made him gender dysphoric. This reminds me of my uncle's cousin's sister's tragic memoir. That was a mouthful. I feel like I've been there before. Where is that? Real. It looks like my half-brother's dad's airplane hangar before it was hit by the tornado. Alright, keep honking. I'm listening to Alice Coltrane's 1971 meteoric sensation, Universal Consciousness. Me and my bestie laughing because the kidnapper accidentally said scangle instead of strangle, so we keep saying, please don't scangle us every time he tries to talk. People that don't like techno just plain and simply can't dance or bang a female right. Okay? They have no groove in their body. They look or rigid and scared to dance at social events with their little pecker. Alright, man. I bet her farts sound like a tuba that's been completely filled with oatmeal. I don't like the internet anymore. Do you guys? Because I don't.
My resume pales in comparison to Alan Moore. She's a writer, wizard, ball Santa, and Rasputin impersonator. Man of many talents. A for apple. B for bat. C for cat. D for dog. And E for Ed. Classic Ed Bowman. Instagram, look at my new boyfriend. Twitter, I can't get a boyfriend. Reddit, uh-oh. Is this an Am I the Asshole? You know what that means. Bring up the Subway Surfers. Mine, 21F, boyfriend, 53M, forbids me from going into the basement and has a sock drawer full of missing women's driver's license. AITA for being uncomfortable. The wedding is in 3 hours. There you go. There's your brain rot for the day. Kids today are like, so what did y'all do before the internet? Did you just not know anything? And the answer is yes. You would ask your Aunt Martha a question, she'd give you the wrong answer, and you'd carry that misinformation for 20 years. And there's a lot of stuff like that. I remember hearing, like, cracking your fingers gives arthritis. I'm almost certain that that is just not an actual thing. But there are so many people, especially, like, older folks, who will, like, swear their life on it. They're like, no, it's real! It's real! Your fingers will turn to dust! It's not at all. It's not at all what'll happen. I love technically true jokes. Like, if everybody in the world held hands around the equator, most of them would drown. Or, did you know that after all these years, the swimming pool in the Titanic is still filled with water? Or, there are more airplanes in the ocean than submarines in the sky. What else you got? It doesn't have to be water related. I mean, yeah, you did have a lot of water related jokes, but, well, like, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fit. That's also a water related one. Never mind. Michael B. Jordan is cute, but doesn't have any edge. He just looks, I don't know, responsible. Like, he looks like he knows where his birth certificate's at. That's a little too much responsibility for me. Like, live life a little bit. Burn your social security card. Pigs can't look up, but I could pick a pig up one night, raise it into the sky, and tilt this pig ever so gentle. I can make sure this pig's eyes lines up with the stars. Imagine seeing the stars for the first time. I want to be treated that kindly and see the stars for the first time. This guy's waxing real poetic right now. That feels real poetic. I like that. Everyone needs someone that'll lift them up to see the stars for the first time. So today in the gym, I thought my trainer was flirting with me when he asked me for my number and to take a pic of me. Turns out he thought I resembled Buzz Lightyear and sent me this. Oh my god. A little bit of a botched Photoshop job, but you know what? It's the thought that counts. You ever smell the air and it smells like the 4th grade Scholastic Book Fair on a chilly Tuesday in October of 2007? Dude, the book fair was always a good time. I remember going, I had my little allowance, and like I would scout out what books I wanted. Like I didn't do midnight releases of video games. I did early morning rushing of the book fair to get my little eraser heads and and books and bookmarks. So fire. Everyone's autistic now. Okay. My single 63-year-old neighbor with $1.2 million of model trains in his basement, who wrote a 90-page letter to the city about the brightness of streetlights when I was growing up, was just a regular guy then? Like he was just chilling? He was just a dude who was hanging out? He was just a guy being a dude? Okay. Please don't knack off in the bathroom, Frank. I mean, hey, you know, boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I beat off on company time. That's how the rhyme goes, right? That's how I've always understood it. I don't know what the problem is. So, yesterday I'm sitting at my desk eating figs drizzled in honey and slices of dried sausage and cheese with a rhyme. And my boss comes up behind me and says, "What is this breakfast? Why do you eat like a Roman emperor?" And then walked away, and I've been thinking about it for hours. And you know what? I think I deserve it. I think that's why, boss. You make $1, I make a dime. That's why I beat off on company time. Naomi's 34. She's looking for a guy who's really trustworthy and healthy. In fact, so healthy you must have both kidneys, you're a non-smoker, not a big drinker, or take any drugs that could damage your liver. And in fact, type O negative blood's a plus. Just wondering. She's gonna take all your blood. Every last drop. She's selling blood. Happy 3-year anniversary to working in a coffee shop at 6 a.m. And my first customer was this lady in a fox costume on her way to surprise chase her daughter, who was afraid of mascots, down the street in Chicago. Ah, the allure of the big city. Alright, I'll bite. What do I do for a living? You work as a butler in a haunted mansion. And yo, scary movie! You put your little hand in the mashed potatoes! Grab the little hand! Yeah, dude! I love that movie. Such a bad movie, but so fun. Having a 2-year-old is like living with a little gnome from a folktale that you have to trick into doing things, because if you ask it directly, it will curse you. And it's real hard to navigate around, but you know what? I think we're really starting to do it. I think we're really starting to push through and get our requests fulfilled from the little monster. Wanted. Someone to climb into this hole in the library for us. Job requirements. Limber, trusting, has not read The Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. Just make sure, especially do not read that one. Not necessary. Don't read it. And if you do read it, you're fired. We just want you to crawl into this hole for us. Sorry, but if you say the word literally inside Continental, you have 5 minutes to finish your drink and then you must leave. If you actually start a sentence with I literally, you must leave immediately. This is the most overused, annoying word in the English language, and we will not tolerate it. Stop Kardashianism? Oh my god, is that something that is like actually colloquialized? There is no such thing as Kardashianism. They made up a word and I knew exactly what they were meaning. That's awesome. The idea that the ideal beach body just means being thin or buff is so unimaginative. Surely the ideal beach body would have a powerful lobster claw, arm flaps to act as a windbreak, and a sand-repellent anus. I feel like these are things, and you know what? If God had contacted me, God had said, "Hey, Dan, man, I just got a couple of questions for you." I wouldn't have said lobster claw, but I would have said, gills. Gills seem like a really powerful thing for the beach to have, so you can get into the tide and you can have that second source of breath. It'd be really hydrating and you'd be able to breathe. I think, why don't the powers that be take these ideas into account? Open box before eating pizza. Every rule or warning that is put somewhere was put there for a reason. So someone ate this with the shell. That's crazy. I have 2 employees that usually leave work at 6 p.m. They're good, but I don't like that their commitment lasts for work hours only. What should I do as a CEO? Oh,
From 1987 to 2025, Tide is no stranger to stains. It's got to be Tide. Now boosted. Continue to set goals for yourself. And help your family make some too. Are you ready for the reserve? Running late? With Braun, you can still look legendary. Braun. Braun All-in-One 9. The lifetime sharp pro blade is designed to get it all. Precision and control never felt this easy. Spend minutes to look like you spent hours grooming. Braun. Better by design.
You should copy and paste this complaint to a table in Microsoft Word 2007. Print it double-sided in landscape mode. Fold it in half 8 times, soak it in olive oil, and shove it up your ass. I feel like that's probably what you should do. As a CEO, shove it up your ass. You make $1 when your employees make a dime, and that's why I can't. The rule of threes. I can't make that joke anymore. I would give anything to be a golden retriever belonging to an upper middle class white family with one of those bandanas around my neck named Max or something. Because they are given the absolute life. They're given a royal treatment. They got the little bandana. They got their own fancy like doggy brand food. It's imported. Oh, dude, they're treated like kings. Women don't ask for much. We just want equality, respect, body autonomy, several crowned jewels, 3 yoke of oxen, ample supplies, 5 small or 2 large dragons, a pack of immediate attack wolves, and pockets in every garment. Just saying. It's not that much. We even listed it out for you, so you can read and check off the list. Just be wanting a gangster lumberjack bisexual that in tune with his feelings and makes $18 million a year. I think that it's you like checked. This was a crazy word salad. Are you this man? Is this who you are? When you come over, 423, that's very specific. Any particular reason for that time? I mean, if you think about it, any time is a specific time. Like 4 o'clock's a specific time too. So it's no more specific than any other time. Now I'm not coming. And check your messages. You got 600 unreads, buddy. That's all. I bet that's 90% Uber confirmations and DoorDash. And then the remaining 10% is authentication codes for your 2-factor. I know exactly what you got going on. Remembering how common it was in like the early 90s for a kid to say, hey, and some old timer to respond, hey is for horses, as part of some kind of campaign to label hey as rude and force kids not to say it. They're gone now and we still say hey. So you lost, old timers. And that's why there's ghosts, because they're gonna haunt you until you stop saying hey. Reminder that Tarantino wrote a scene in Dusk Till Dawn where Salma Hayek pours tequila down her leg and forces a guy to drink it by sucking on her toes, then cast himself in that role. I see. I've never watched Dusk Till Dawn, and that is... that's hilarious. Like in an awkward, kind of strange way. No refunds on gator meat. Yes, it is chewy. Yes, it is fishy. Yes, it is gamey. It is meat from an alligator, not chicken. Just put it in a bobo and you'll be fine. Dear G-Boner, you've been ducked by a proud Navy veteran from blank. Have a meaningful day. Aww. Well, thanks. Thanks for ducking me, dude. Happily married to my 5'5" king for 8 years while y'all are getting ghosted by 6'2" alcoholics with a 7th grade reading level. That's so oddly specific. It fits the subreddit perfectly, but go off about how you only date tall men, I guess. Is he wearing a chain? What does that chain say? I wish I could read. That's no. It's gotta be the design of the shirt. I mistook the creases on the shirt for like the necklace of the chain. I was wearing like a big ass pendant. I was like, what is he repping there? I was having a really hard time with that. And you know what? At least they're happy. And now he's got someone to reach the top shelf for him. So that's real nice. That's real nice. Me, she's jealous of me because I can play Mr. Brightside using nothing but armpit farts. Wife, not true. Me, I'll do it right now. Wife, please don't. Marriage counselor visibly excited. I mean, you can express yourself freely here, Brandon. I got my popcorn ready, actually. Your fiance gets kidnapped in a foreign country. You stay out till 2 a.m. searching with authorities, but you eventually have to call it and return to your hotel. You still do your skincare routine, yes or no? answer is yes, because I have to feel glowing and rejuvenated if I'm going to find my fiance. You know, I can't do that if I'm not feeling hydrated and moisturized. Why the hell did you tell your father BDSM stands for burgers, drinks, and salsa music? He just invited Bob and Agnes to come over tonight for a BDSM party. We are not done talking about this. Sorry, you seemed excited about it. Can't afford a private investigator? Just order food delivery. Hi, just placed a Del Taco order. I don't want this actually delivered. There's a $10 tip built in and keep the queso. My husband's supposed to be home alone while I'm visiting family. I just need to know what cars are in the driveway. Yes, I know I sound crazy. For the love of God, please don't actually deliver this. So, just to clarify, you don't want me to deliver the food. You just want me to drive by the house, the address you gave me, and let you know what cars are in the driveway? Yes, keep the food. I added a $10 tip when I placed the order. Alright then, I'm in line right now, but I'll let you know once I go by. Could you have added more than queso? Should I get chips? What's going on? The new praying memoji looks like a very exasperated gay man trying to explain something to someone who isn't understanding them. Especially when you pair it with the laptop. I think when you do the MacBook, close it, and then he goes, the inhale, exhale, that's what it looks like. I am dying to know what Jerry and Robbie did to invoke the wrath of the professor. Sit quietly at your desk for a few minutes. Get up, say that was easy, and turn in your quiz. Do not say anything to Jerry and Robbie. That's all you gotta do. Live every day like your 2001 Nicole Kidman, leaving her lawyer's office after divorcing Tom Cruise. How do you think about that, Tom? Wow, okay. Hey man, she looked like she was living free. She looked like she was having a great time. Good morning to everyone except my partner who at 2 a.m. mid-dream sat bolt upright in bed and terrifyingly shouted into the dark, "Will there be a buffet?" Well, will there? It's a very important question. Nude psychic readings and tax advice. What? Like at the same time? Or are these two separate services? Is this like a shared building, a shared unit? Why does it have to be a nude psychic reading? NSFW. Your girlfriend of 4 months is writing a book about her sexual experiences before she met you and has a legit chance of getting published. It bothers you, M35, for reasons you can't quite explain. What do? Do not read that fucking book. I mean, if it bothers you that your partner has had sexual experiences before you, then yeah, probably don't read it, right? There's a knight in my backyard stabbing the ground with his sword, trying to render my soil barren by killing the worms, but luckily I've trained them all in a classical ballet, and they keep pirouetting away from the blade. Incredible sentence structure here. You can't get sentences like this anywhere else. I mean, this is homegrown Tumblr, baby. You don't get this. This ain't your grandma's website. This time of year, I grab weeds when I'm walking my dog and weave them in the little wreaths that I leave around the neighborhood. Specifically because there's one woman on Nextdoor who is furious because she thinks they're signs of witchcraft. And I encourage you to do the same. We need more music where the singer says, "Take him for a walk, Artie," and then the guy with a clarinet just goes nuts for like 8 minutes. Letting someone go nuts on their instrument of choice for an extended period of time really works the crowd up. Like that's what it's all about. It's the payday. It's the payday for them, dude. Oh, is this a road? It's like a road in the middle of the desert. Hardly even a road. Oh no, it's paved. Is it paved? I think it's paved. Some poor slob is sitting in the middle of that while dealing with a severe ecstasy hangover and second-degree sunburns, trying to make up stories about getting laid to tell his fellow tech bros, when in reality the closest he got was getting punched in the face for grinding up against a fully bearded man dressed up like Sailor Moon. God bless him. The backbone of our tech industry. Khloe Kardashian's hands look like the hands of what I imagine lives under my bed and grabs my ankles in my sleep. Really frightening and not quite human. If I woke up tomorrow as a horse, first thing I'd do is eat a whole apple with the core in one bite. I bet it'd be really nice. Yeah, then I'd check whatever's behind me. Real horse hours. The Jewish-Japanese Sex and Cookbook and How to Raise Wolves by Jack Douglas. Excuse me? Is that the... Wait a minute. Jack Douglas? You're telling me he stopped doing those Yesterday I Asked You videos to start making this book? Wow. How crazy. Where have you been, Jack Douglas? What kinds of things have you seen? It's probably covered in that book, honestly. Me tries to resize an image, Microsoft Word. Okay. Deletes all vowels, pastes all the employee handbooks, starts 3D printing a haunted amulet. Yeah, never resize in this program again, idiot. Voided. 1 kid's burger, please. Made like the patty cut into dinosaur shapes. 2 thin lines of ketchup, no bun. Corn chips on the side, and juice box. Watermelon preferred, but cherry will do. Okay, thanks. Bye. You're only a teenager once, guys. Ask your crush out. Go to parties. Make friends. Travel across Egypt wearing a trench coat with a classmate, a French guy, a fortune teller, your grandfather, and a dog. The world is limitless! When life gives you lemons, give the lemons back. Why were the lemons free? Is something wrong with the lemons? Are the lemons haunted? Be suspicious of the lemons. Were they homegrown? Are they giving it out to the community? Why am I getting these lemons specifically, life? I don't trust you and your charitable lemons. How to love yourself even though the tattoo artist didn't post a pic of your tattoo. Real hard to deal with, I know, but we're gonna grapple with that. You can love yourself anyway. People are like, why don't you just sleep over? As if I don't need a pitch black room with at least 2 fans on with a temperature at exactly 72 degrees with a humidifier on and antimicrobial bamboo sheets and a spritz of lavender pillows for to even think about falling asleep. You kidding me? I have standards. Yep. This is for the Kamala Harris supporters in the conservative red states who can't put stickers on cars or signs in their yard for fear of their safety concerns to their pets and children. We know you exist. We will see you at the polls. That is hyper specific. That was, wow, well done. Wouldn't it be nice to get knocked out cold with a shovel for exactly 6 weeks and 5 days? God, one can only dream. Me at age 9 hearing my uncle piss loud as hell downstairs and wondering how the hell he did that, completely unaware that he would die on a ski slope the next day and somehow decided it was my fault because I judged him. Sorry, Countries where it is legal to hit a Swedish person with a stick if they walk to your country over ice. Only one place is that legal. Where everywhere else, I mean, they haven't really specified that, but you can try, I guess. Someone told me today that I have a colonial face. It looked like I'm fresh off the Mayflower. Okay, thanks. The Philippines' first Olympic gold medalist at Paris, Carlos Hilo, will receive the following for winning. A lifetime of free colonoscopies at 45 years old. A furnished condo. A house, over $200,000 in cash, an iPhone 16, free cookies for life from a local bakery, free food for life from multiple local restaurants, and free engineering education. So yeah, and these say that it doesn't matter if you win the Olympics. How about those free cookies, pal? It's how it crumbles. Joe Rogan is like some barbarian Khan from the steppes that took an interest in intellectual things, and his show is basically him bringing slightly nervous scholars and magicians to come before him to explain how the world works. Glasses man, you explain to Joe why sky big and how tree grow. But he will also believe almost anything you tell him, and only recently in the past few years does he clap back, like, Tiny Hat Man say otherwise. Do you lie to Joe? Tiny Hat Man say fat not bad for you, that sugar is enemy, so which is truth? Joe thinks you are wrong. And people just nervously go, okay, yeah, I guess so. Joe spent many moons on horseback and training with bow and sword. But Joe also wondered why Skyfire rise from mountains every morning. You will explain this to Joe. I would watch the show if it was like that. If it was phrased like that all the time, I would watch it. That sounds like an entertaining program. Yes. I was looking for a soap dispenser labeled ketchup with a picture of grapes. I really want this bottle in my bathroom. I'd place it next to matching decorative soaps and towels. It seems like it fits. But I'll actually fill the thing up with ketchup. So when I have guests over, they decide to use the bathroom. They'll see this bottle and have a moment of cognitive dissonance. This soap bottle in the bathroom is labeled ketchup, so surely it must dispense soap instead of ketchup, despite the label saying ketchup, right? And then let them have a moment of realization, followed by abject horror as they pump viscous ketchup all over their hands instead of soap. It's the perfect plan.
Lunch is ground beef with banana and honey. It's actually so good. 200 calories and 22 grams of protein. This looks like something you'd feed a pit bull on its birthday. Yeah, look, I'm not putting bananas in my ground beef, you psycho. Oh, it feels so good to be back. Don't you agree? Hope you guys had a great holiday season. Let's get to it, shall we? I wonder how long you could drive at a roundabout before a cop would be like, you can't do that anymore. Pretty sure somebody did a video about that, and he made it for like 3 hours before a police officer came by and said, dog, you gotta chill out, something like that. Stop leaving your kids around those extra old folks. I asked my little nephew how old he was turning. He said, if the Lord sees fit, 6 in May. God damn it. Girls actually text each other like, I'm meeting a guy allegedly named Brian here. If he murders me, here's his bumble pic so he can be brought to justice. And then the reply is like, you got it, girl, have fun tonight. Imagine going through a bad breakup in 1823, and then Beethoven drops Moonlight Sonata. Oh, I bet that was an absolute banger. I don't know how the average person would have heard it, though, because you would have to go hear that played somewhere. Like, you'd like no one had phonographs and record players and whatnot, or at least the average person definitely would not have been able to afford that. There's no way, right? I don't know what year the phonograph was invented. Here, let me see. I bet it was a little bit later, though. Let's see. Phonograph invention, February 1878. So, yeah, I don't think it would have really mattered in the grand scheme because, like I said, you're going to have to go hear it in person somehow. This is the most humiliating day of my life. Hello, Alexander. Hope your evening has been most enjoyable. Would you care to receive some artful photographs of my nude form, buddy?
Late night street tacos are beautiful. For the tall people. Let's go. Get out of here. College basketball gets even go. College basketball continues on TNT.
Jigsaw. Come on. You absolutely did that on purpose. Who the hell says it like that?
Would you care to receive some artful photographs of my nude form? Hello?
Map of all the countries where the Prime Minister went for a swim and literally just disappeared one day and was never found and none of the citizens gave a shit. Where did the Prime Minister go swimming? Was it in a pool? A pool connected to another universe? Or did he decide to pick the wrong beach? What happened? Did anybody actually get to the bottom of this at all? I'm assuming no. As you said, no one gave a shit. Me watching Bake Off? You fool! You can't dip the walnut whirl in the tempered chocolate. You have to drizzle over the top to achieve the characteristic wobble of the coffee ganache Parisian cafe style. Me baking at home, I forgot to put apples in the apple pie. Gen Z will never understand growing up with parents who basically poured a gallon of milk into our body with a big funnel every day because Big Milk told them that if we didn't drink enough, our bones would go soft and we turn into pudding people and get kidnapped at the mall. Man, isn't drinking too much milk also a real bad thing too? But yeah, you guys remember that? Got Milk? You guys remember Got Milk? Doesn't really exist anymore, at least as far as I can tell. I'm sure if you're in an older school that never takes any of its posters down or anything like that, you'll still see some remnants of it. Stop shaming people for reading kids' books. Adult books are about sad people having affairs, while kids' books have a magic tree house or a worm driving an apple. You tell me who's winning. I do genuinely agree with this. There are plenty of adult books that are fantastic. Not get me wrong, I'm not saying one is inherently better than the other. However, I still love going back and reading Warrior Cats. I still love going back and reading the City of Ember series, or my favorite book as a kid, Dragon Rider. Dude, I'll read that crap all day long, because it's fun. It's whimsical. It's very easy to get through, because it's written for teenagers, or 10-year-olds, or whatever. I don't care. It's just fun. And as this person put it, they have worms driving apples. You can't really beat that, unless, you're going to read House of Leaves. Then that beats it. No cake in a cake looks like object video is in fact cake. It's a pound of fondant wrapped around a miserable little piece of bread, the consistency of florist's foam. Beautiful art to be sure, but each is a lie wrapped in another lie, as edible as the object it apes. That's true. No one would actually want to take a bite of any of these objects at all. Apple CEO confirms the tech giants are working on a driverless car. The Apple car. It's the year 2032. You're driving on the highway to work in your Apple car when you hear the news that the new Apple Car 2 is coming out. Suddenly, the speed of your car goes from 95 to 25. Chaos ensues. I have less than zero interest in self-driving vehicles. I just don't. I have no interest. No interest whatsoever, alright? Humans suck ass at it. We're all very bad. Genuinely. All of us. But I don't need this. I don't need something else to be controlling the giant weapon I'm going to work in. I don't need that. Absolutely not. Whether it's code or some dude somewhere with an Xbox 360 controller. I don't need any of that nonsense. One day, some guy is going to see me eating a whole rotisserie chicken with my bare hands in my parked car and think, that's her. she's the one. I mean, who the hell wouldn't think that if they saw someone just absolutely going to town on a rotisserie chicken? As a relatively successful and busy man who lives in the city, my greatest fear is losing my girlfriend to a hometown hunk with a young son who teaches her the true meaning of Christmas. Nursing school doesn't prepare you for the number of elderly patients who will casually confess to decade-old murders. Are they really confessing, or have they just kind of lost their marbles because they're old? They're very old. Are they just saying shit? Or did Susie actually poison her husband 45 years ago? Trying to gossip with your dad is so hard, because first, you have to introduce the characters, then give the plot line, then dish him the debts, and then you have to repeat it again because he wasn't listening the first time. When did you become radicalized by the U.S. healthcare non-system? I'm rubbing my head after getting a cavity filled. Dental assistant says, do you want a Tylenol? I say please, and she leaves to get me one. $15 on the bill. I thought she meant like from her purse. Yeah, it's mind-blowing that it's legal to do that, where they charge you kind of what they're going to be charging your insurance. $15 on the bill. Kiss my ass. We've all got to collectively just start going, no. Oh no, you're going to try and go after my credit? I don't give a f***. I don't care. No, not going to pay that. Shouldn't be paying that. We pay tens of thousands of dollars a year per person to be treated like this. No. Craigslist tip. If you're buying from a guy who looks visibly divorced, ask him if he's married and listen to his story. If you follow this dialogue tree and make sympathetic remarks, you may get up to a 30% discount on your item. Even more if he's selling a sports car. Damn. That's a good idea there, Donald. My brother's texting this girl, and apparently she's on punishment, so she's got no phone. He created a Google Doc, and they talk about editing the document. Don't ever say you can't talk to someone. Interesting. I don't know how long that would work, though. They'd get caught eventually, right? Here's the problem with fruit. It's inconsistent. Some apples are delicious. Some taste bad. Sometimes blueberries are great. Sometimes they're disgusting. You know what's the same every time? Doritos. Ooh, I never thought about it that way. You're right about all of that. I don't think there's a single part of this that could possibly be incorrect. My husband's dying wish was to make people think he led a double life. We had 3 blacked out Land Rovers follow the cortege, and actors in suits and trench coats observe the funeral from a distance. He was a bank manager for TSB, and to this day, haven't told anybody the truth. That's a fun idea. That's a really fun idea. When I die, I'm going to be cremated, but I still want there to be some final prank I pull on people. I don't know what it exactly will be. Maybe this? Probably not. I want to think of something on my own. If you pay me $50, I'll show up to your funeral but stand really far away, holding a black umbrella regardless of the weather, so that people will think you died with a dark and interesting secret. Hey, this is like a different version of what we just read about. See, that's a good idea. Although, it might not be. Someone might take it the wrong way and beat you up or something because they thought you were like the mistress or whatever. My worst nightmare is Spotify randomly throwing out an Ed Sheeran song whilst I'm driving. Then I crash and die, but it keeps playing. So the first responders think I was an Ed Sheeran fan, and they tell my mom, and I end up being cremated to the fucking Shape of You. Oh, man, that would be awesome, right, guy? Eyelashes are supposed to prevent things from going into your eyes, but whenever I have something in my eye, it's always an eyelash. Ironic, isn't it, you smartass? Is gym really worth it? Was there some sort of study that says seasoning decreases muscle growth, or do bodybuilders just eat the food equivalent of a suicide note every day voluntarily? If I had to guess, it has something to do maybe with sodium levels or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they don't have a real concept of what seasoning truly is, so they assume it's just tons of salt, which isn't exactly going to help you not feel bloated, you know what I mean? But I don't have any real ideas. In memory of Ellen Shannon, aged 26 years, who was fatally burned March 21st, 1870, by the explosion of a lamp filled with R.E. Danforth's non-explosive burning fluid. Couldn't sleep last night. Kept thinking about how the Green Ranger had a dagger that was a flute that sounded like a synthesizer that's trying to sound like a trumpet, and he blew into it with his helmet on. You're not supposed to think too hard when you're watching Power Rangers at all, okay? It's Power Rangers. Stop thinking about it. Told my kids I couldn't find the hot cocoa powder, to which my 4-year-old said maybe someone took it and hid it behind my bed, which is a suspiciously specific theory. Well, was he correct? Did someone indeed do that? I'm willing to bet that it did indeed happen. My 4-year-old pretended she was a hired cleaner yesterday, As she helped me clean, she asked if I had any kids. After telling her about my 2, I asked if she had any of her own. Turns out she has 5 kids and has been married to a man named Carlin for 30 years. You think you know someone? She came up with the name Carlin? There's no way. They should not give cops horses. Give those horses to postal workers so I can sit on my porch, drink an iced tea, and then a guy rides up on a horse and says, "Hey pal, got a letter for you here." God, that would be fun, but I feel so bad for the horses. The horses would have to be used exclusively for incredibly short, small city routes. Like 1 horse per day, that's it. They all get a huge break after that, $100 a night hotel. Hi, we have you for 3 nights. Checkouts whenever, not true. Enjoy the 24-hour gym and pool that smells like chlorine and feet, respectively. Unlimited breakfast. Eat Costco sausages till you die. We don't care. $275 a night hotel. Oh, His Royal Highness expects free Wi-Fi, does he? Oh man, when have you ever gone to a hotel where checkout was whenever? Genuinely. There should be a hotline you can call where you can safely pronounce words you've only ever read out loud for the first time, and they say, "Oh, sweetie," and then kindly explain how it's pronounced. That would be a great idea. Having someone go, "Oh, you're stupid, let me explain it." That sounds great. I'm rewatching House, and holy crap, this show is bananas. They just let this man limp around doing medical crimes all day, every day, including Christmas. Patient, I have a cough. Dr. House, first of all, your shoes look a little loose. Your hair is ugly. Chase, check this man's butthole for worms. Dr. Chase.
Unbelievable! Only this.
I'm not gonna do it. Only the second case ever of butthole worms. How did you? They're playing an air guitar on his cane. That show is wild. I kind of hope that they do like a movie or something after all these years. I'd love to see them all back again, committing serious crimes, but saving one person's life every episode. Why does everyone say housewife or house husband when house spouse is not only gender neutral, but rhymes? Wait, spouse rhymes with house? I always pronounced it booze in my head. Why is your language so weird? Because English beats up other languages in dark alleys, then rifles through their pockets for loose grammar and spare vocabulary. Okay.
Changing how you shop can feel like a lot.
You okay?
It's different, but you'll love it.
It's like how it's smaller to cut overhead costs.
Calculus saves some money. Differences that save you money. It's an all different.
It's terrifying to realize that any collection of 3 to 6 white guys you see walking around would be Imagine Dragons, and there's no way to know. Ooh, I never thought about that. Oh man, that's actually a pretty horrifying thought. Man, am I gonna start getting scared to go outside because of this shit? It's Catholic canon that in the Garden of Gethsemane? I've said this word before in the past. Gethsemane, Jesus Christ saw every sin committed by human beings, which means that he watched a guy blasting rope to Waluigi hentai and still decided to sacrifice himself for humanity. Absolute legend. Is that a sin? Is it a sin to... I mean, specifically, I guess, the Waluigi hentai, God probably would consider that a sin. But is it a sin just to jerk it? Like an actual sin? Or is it just something they tell you not to do? I'm curious. Let's ask Jesus for comment. Are the Amish allowed to level up the tech tree every couple hundred years, or is it a permanently frozen kind of thing? Like, in 100 years, are they allowed to invent the radio? It has nothing to do with whether or not they're allowed to. They specifically choose to not utilize electricity. Those suckers do make a kick-ass space heater, though, I'll give them that. You wake up. You're still a lizard, sunning on a red rock. It was all a dream. The concept of selling feet pics to pay back student loans is already losing its meaning as you open and lick your own eyeballs to moisten them. Time to eat a bug. Raising children is hard, but it's all worth it for the one moment you come back inside from hauling firewood all morning and your child runs up to you smiling and tells you, "Log pill. You're a log-pilled fire cell, heat maxing, winter-coated." If you were ever a lunch lady in a small public elementary school in East Orange, New Jersey in the early 80s and you snuck a small shy girl with blue eyes and bangs a peanut butter sandwich on the day she had no lunch money, know I have loved you my entire life, and I hope you've been happy and healthy. Lunch money. What a concept that we have over here in the good old United States of ass. Absolutely amazing. Children have to... Sure, they're not actually the ones having to pay for lunch, but it's stupid as... Ain't it? It's crazy. Good on that lunch lady, though. If your name is Maggie, you attend North Carolina Montana State University, and your grandparents come to Chick-fil-A in Mount Airy, you should know that they adore you, and they were telling me how proud they are of you. They told me you made the dean's list. Good job, girl. Just found out you can watch a movie at 7:45 in the morning if you want to. It's magical. That, honestly, it doesn't sound very... I don't know why I don't like the idea of watching a movie, like, in the morning. It's weird. Like, I'll watch a movie at 1 or 2 in the morning, sure, but like in, like, the daylight morning, no, it feels weird. Mankind wasn't meant to work in December. We were meant to hide from wolves, drink, and pray our autumn harvest will last us through the dark months. Yeah, we were totally meant for that. Driving through the Midwest is just absolute nothingness. And then every 70 miles, you see God is real, hell is real too, followed by a sign for a store that says XXL clothes. The God is real, hell is real too ones are hilarious to see because those are everywhere. Boys are always like, what the hell, you never hang out with me. First of all, your idea of hanging out is getting me high while your mom is at work and then trying to f me while Naruto plays in the background. Alright, yeah, I can see the problem here. Nothing makes me feel more disconnected from my fellow Americans than the Netflix top 10 list. Oh, do you have better taste? Is your taste so good? Sometimes I think about how I wrote a paper 2 weeks late in the 7th grade and slipped it under my teacher's desk after putting a footprint on it, and she apologized for losing my paper and giving me a 0, and corrected my grade to a B+. And digital submission has just ruined the magic. Yeah, there's no tricking them teachers anymore. But, look, 2 weeks late? Come the f*** on, Mike. Grow up. Come on, 7th grade? Grow up. You're an adult. Okay. Oh, that is crazy, though. 2 weeks late? I'm not gonna have your back at that point, dog. Like, 5 minutes, an hour a day, something weird happened? Sure, but 2 weeks? Goddamn, what the did you die? Being a grandpa must be tough. Some baby mispronounces a word, and suddenly your name is Peepo for the last 30 years of your life. Yeah? Chasing after a ping pong ball is wildly dehumanizing. So is chasing after a tennis ball. New York wants to build this U-shaped skyscraper. It's so big that a plane can easily go through it. Why? Yeah, blah, 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 stupid plane building joke, whatever. But why would, if this is true, what's the purpose? And how much does that stupid penthouse at the top cost? I would not feel safe in this sort of thing. It actually, I don't think it's real, because it looks like that really skinny, weird apartment building where your average condo or whatever you want to call it's like $50 million. Can you imagine living in that dome? I'd be horrified. Every single day of my life, I would think it's going to get blown over in the wind or just collapse, because that doesn't look like it should be standing up at all, alright? I've had nightmares about being in penthouses and apartments 100 floors up. Absolutely not. Folks who don't give you a recipe because it's a family secret are really odd. First of all, it's not like your family's living off these cinnamon rolls, and secondly, you told me you cheat on your wife before, so, like, is it in clove or not? Millennials, quit whining. I paid off $150,000 in student loans and own a $400,000 home because I save. It's not that hard. I make coffee at home, bus instead of Uber, shop sales, had parents pay off my loans and buy me a house because I'm daddy's special boy, and got Hulu with ads. What my girlfriend thought. First 4 dates. Nice shirt. Wow, a second nice shirt. Okay, first shirt again. He has 2 shirts. Why is sleeping at night so hard, but sleeping in the morning is like drifting away on a soft, fluffy cloud while Adele sings you a lullaby? I've wondered shit like that my entire life. Why is it so easy at certain times of the day? Why is it so easy for me to fall asleep in the car on the way home? But then when I actually get into the house, I'm wired and can't do shit. As a kid, I thought sleepovers were wild because we played video games for 10 hours. Then I heard about girl sleepovers, and they're wild, man. They gossip, eat 40 pounds of food, take blood oaths, and host fight night, and sacrifice the weakest member to the goddess of the moon. Like, what the hell? Wait. On your sleepovers, you didn't eat 40 pounds of food? Dude, we were pounding so much caffeine. If I were to drink that amount of caffeine today, I'd probably need to go to the hospital. But we were eating the junkiest junk food of them all. I think at one point, like 15 years ago, I ordered for myself like $16 worth of Taco Bell just for me. And that was like 14, 15 years ago. Like these days, 3 items comes to that total. But back then, oh my God. You gotta remember, when the 5-layer burrito launched, it was 89 cents. I ate enough food to kill God. Thank you for bringing your Bluetooth speaker to the beach. I didn't want to hear the sounds of the waves and birds and wind. I wanted to hear the Spotify playlist you listen to everywhere else in your life because you hate to be alone with your thoughts for even 1 minute. Thank you! Look, I would normally agree. I get it. I would normally agree. However, you are in the most popular in any city that has a beach. You are in the most popular public space. Shut the fuck up. A blue whale's anus can stretch up to 3.5 feet, making it the second largest asshole next to people to talk on speakerphone in public. If men are stronger than women, why do male characters in video games need full plate armor while the women only need a chainmail bikini? Checkmate. My Japanese mom said if I got on America's Got Talent, she'd pretend she doesn't support my comedic career and no longer speaks to me to give me a solid backstory. She said she'd plan a dramatic moment where she calls for the first time in 5 years. I love her so much. Me thinks boyfriend is mad because he's being very quiet. What you thinking about? About how bike tires are made. Ladies, we gotta stop worrying what the boys are thinking because 9 times out of 10 it's some dumb shit like this. I'm a dentist and I graduated with 68 other ones. I've met even more in 13 years as a dentist. None of us have been asked shit about our opinions on toothpastes. Well, that's because you're not part of the fucking panel of those dentists. You're not part of that. You're just a dentist. Normal people. I met this guy. He was average. Victorian writers. He was, in the way of most men, possessed of rudimentary intelligence. His countenance ordinary, his bearing mild, with some weakness about his shoulders. His hair the color of ash. He spoke of the weather. Yeah, come on. We need people to talk like this again. Please write in a fun way. Purple up that prose. Leaving a watermelon on someone's doorstep in the middle of a night or middle of night, is a pretty inexpensive way to occupy a portion of their mind forever. It's like that TV guy. You know, the one that was going around for a little while and leaving CRTs on people's doorsteps while wearing one on his head. Don't post wicked spoilers. So fun fact, it's actually a 21-year-old musical adapted from a 29-year-old book, which is based on an 85-year-old movie, which is adapted from a 124-year-old book. There are certain cutoffs for certain movies where I think, shut up about spoilers. Tired of it. At a certain point, grow up, genuinely. A woman could have 4 broken limbs and massive internal injuries due to an epic battle with a fire-breathing dragon, and the first question the doctor's office will ask is, what's the date of your last menstrual period?
Pets look like their owners. Dude, I love how Guinea Pig is looking like you just committed 689 felonies. They have that, oh my god, stare. I love it. When y'all finish playing hide and seek and the try-hard person comes up the most ridiculous spot, sweaty and dusty AF, and you got dry lips and no money and no future, hate it when that happens. Dating a girl is fun until she starts biting your arm. Or until she cheats on you with your best friend on Thursday, October 7th, 2019 at 6:40 p.m. That's the worst. Poor guy. Bro, these kids were running a lemonade stand and I walked to them and said, got any grapes? And this kid deadass looks me in the eyes and says, prepared for people like you. He pulled out a bowl of cold grapes. He knew. He was ready and waiting for this moment.
I gave in and bought you some grapes.
British men stopped wearing this hat some years ago and started getting it as a haircut instead. They just kept the shape, changed what it was, you know? Instead of a hat now, it's just part of you forever. Go hang the salami backwards as I'm a lasagna hog. What? No, Stanford really said that. You will soon discover a new talent for juggling pineapples. All this I would never have expected out of a fortune cookie, so this must be the first real fortune cookie. Thank you. What will I do with this? Can I profit off of this? Word of the day is latibulate, 17th century. To hide in a corner in an attempt to escape reality. Okay, well, we're bringing that back, obviously. Shout out to my latibulators. Latibulating like crazy. Imagine you're getting a job at a GameStop, and your manager is the type of guy to chug a whole Monster Energy drink and then say, "Ha, level up!" He does that every day. Now you know it's like working at the GameStop, because this is my manager. He's real, and he's me. If your credit score's below 800, this is worth a try. Why does the man look like he just freed 160 children from forced labor in Senegambia after a gruesome battle where he lost half of his men? I mean, I'll try it. He looks like he knows what he's talking about, but there's pain in those eyes. Just ate 3,000 calories of Airport Panda Express ass crack at dawn rooster still tired. And you want to ask me to move my feet out of the aisle? These are size 13 shoes and I'm inbred. I'm the serpent in the garden with nicotine poisoning. You're on vacation with your kids. I'm dying in real life. So no, I won't move. I will never understand how we normalized health insurance companies acting as a barrier between doctors and patients for no reason other than extracting money. They literally don't even have a product. The job is denying. That's what they're great at telling you that you can't be taken care of. That's what they do. That's their business model. I am gay? No. Straight? No. Bisexual? No. Asexual? No. Annoyed at people who tell me to stop bouncing my leg because it's a distraction for them or because it bothers them? I'm sorry you don't have anxiety, Susan. Stop fucking judging me and let me be internally anxious in peace. Check. British people eat like aliens pretending to know what human food is, and frankly I'm tired of us pretending that they don't. Bangers and mash is not even a real word. Not even a real thing. Spotted Nick, you're insane. Imagine what it's like to work at BuzzFeed. Your boss asks you to grow out your pubes for a month. You ask Dave from accounting who wants to go out for a drink, but he's on a ketchup cleanse this week. You need to find Sheila to get her figures for this quarter, but she's away, trying transcendental puppy tail yoga for the first time. You get roped in to do a taste test for slow-cooked yogurt, and now you're stressed because you can't find the perfect gift for your what is your favorite Game of Thrones plug say about you listicle for minimum wage. Put a finger down if your kid pooped in his carrier on the plane because he got scared of a rough landing, and the crew was so angry about the smell that they kicked you off your next flight and left you in a random city for 12 hours, and now you're rationing cat litter and food at a family bathroom. I still have all my fingers up. Not me.
Yeah, of course your financial plan can help support the Ruby Runners, your family, and ocean conservation.
Plan your finances for the people, causes, and communities you love with Thrivent, where money means more.
I hate to admit this, but our feelings on certain things really do change as we get older. 10 years ago, I would have preferred to get a new video game instead of an engagement ring. But now that I'm older, I'd prefer to get a domesticated raccoon instead of an engagement ring. Things really do change. Cillian Murphy looks like he was designed by someone who was both very horny, but also riddled with Catholic guilt, and he came out on the other end. I have a World War I trench knife embedded in my bedroom wall just in case. 1917 edition. More useful than a gun in close quarters. This is from a man who is so physically awkward he looks like a handful of custard being pushed with chopsticks through a revolving door. But he, thinks that he can handle the knife way better than the gun in close quarters. Coworker. Good to be back at work though. Break felt a little long to me if I'm being honest. The Slavic man I hired to pour hot soups on people who annoy me. Here come the ladle. Oh, perfect. Thank you. So I pay you the big bucks. Imagine it's your day in court for a horrible crime you didn't commit. Your lawyer's late. You haven't even met them yet. Then the doors swing open and it's a fucking golden retriever in a suit. Your heart sinks. You realize you're an Airbud 14 attorney at law. But hey, you walk free. God damn it, those dogs know law. Zuckerberg wore a $900,000 watch while announcing Meta's end to fact-checking. Hey, he looks like dudes he used to sell to in high school that were hosting a party because their parents were out of town. So this all checks out. By the way, a cautionary tale. If you find a bunch of bones that are A, untouched, and B, supernaturally clean, there is definitely a reason for both of those things. Sometimes that reason is ants. Sometimes those ants are fire ants. Sometimes those fire ants have made a nest over the entire 3-meter area around those bones. Well, it sounds like someone had an adventure with fire ants, and it didn't go well. Seems fair enough to me. My men height chart. 5 to 5'3", Stuart Little. 5'4" to 5'7", Sassy. 6'1" and above, King. I'll sell you out. Oh boy, in the women weight chart. 100 to 130, Goddess. 131 to 150, Queen. 151 to 170, Whale. Jesus Christ. 171 to 190, Mammoth. 190 plus, Ford F-150 extended cab 4x4 Proto package. But hey, that's reliable. Don't you want something reliable? I always found this such an odd argument. It's funny if you have a thing for taller guys. It's fine if you have a thing, but then bringing it, I don't know. I always found this this back and forth. This to me, this like, oh, a woman who's this big. I want a guy who's this tall. This is just the dating version of the console wars to me. It's just two people arguing endlessly forever. 80s video game. Here is a fantasy that you're an astronaut blasting asteroids. 90s. No, you're a badass marine blasting demons. 2000s. Time to blast some aliens. 2010s, chop up these zombies. 2020s, here's a fantasy that you have a cozy house, friends, relationships, and food. Joy. I wonder what prehistoric schizophrenics had delusions about. Like, what was the Neolithic equivalent of CIA gang stalking? I don't know, smoke signals? What the heck do I get my elderly roommate turned surrogate father, who's a recently out of the closet gay Democrat, with a family that doesn't really accept him and is still unexpectedly but significantly involved with the Catholic Church, yet has little to no hobbies? Budget is $30 to $50. The answer is a journal. Let him write it out. Girls that will ruin your life. Any and all Jessicas, all Emilys, all Catherines. That girl with red eyes who appears in my room at 3:33 a.m. and laughs until she cries blood. And Alex. The last thing your CV sees before a 36-year-old divorced cat lover HR lady shift deletes it because her hormones told her so. Isn't that crazy? Goodbye, CV. No job for you. Ice skating is wild. Someone is brave enough to walk onto a frozen lake and be like, you know what my feet need? Knives. That's exactly how we're going to get through this. We cater any event. Wedding, graduation, horse funeral, drug intervention, Tuesdays. Horse funeral, a night alone, return of Jim, anniversary of horse funeral. Come inside for a free consultation. Let's see if we can help you. She's a 10, but when she's on top, she yells, "It's a me, Wario." Then, excuse me? And then farts on my balls and uses my ears like a steering wheel. Small price to pay for love, buddy. Lady Gaga stuns in a new photo. She looks like she's going to lure you to a remote island and have you fight a big robot under a volcano. She looks like she's scheming. Mariah points a claw at another innocent victim. All I want for Christmas is you. Look away. The screaming eventually ceases and is replaced by the sound of bones crunching. We can sleep easy. The Mariah has been fed. But now, dear God, this happens every year. Beating the dog out of my family at Mario Kart. No handouts. First 13 times in a row. People are crying. I feel nothing. This ain't a game to me. I worked myself out of the trenches. I cut my teeth on this. Ain't never been against nobody not like me. Huh? Mate looks like he's going to be in a business meeting right after lunch. Get promoted by evening and take another victim during the night. I see. A real working man. Do you think the top part of a mermaid also tastes like fish, or would that it actually be red meat? Would there be a solid line where the meat changes in their body, or would it kind of blend? Did you make a surf and turf platter with one carcass? So many questions. I went to the ER for a migraine once. The nurse asked what I took for it. I said, a liter of chocolate milk. She paused and said, odd, but only something a migraine sufferer would try. As if I correctly answered her riddle and she was granting me passage to the land of pain relief. I solved her troubling query, and I got a reward for, passing the test. Muscle men to carry my mother in the East Village. My mom is dead. She wanted to be cremated by the guy who burns bodies, says she's too fat to get on fire. For her funeral, we'll put her in a box. I am looking for 6 athletic male models to carry my mom into the church. Must have 6-packs and bring your own fedoras. The funeral will be gangster themed because she is Italian. God bless. It's surprising how often crime news stories deal with music. Somebody shoots a neighbor because of the music they're playing, but the newspapers never tell you the name of the song. This disappoints me. If I were a journalist covering the story, that would be the first question I ask. Like, how justified was this, was this shooting? I don't believe the whole most people only have 4 sexual partners in their life thing, because pretty much everyone I know is sitting somewhere between 60 to 120 bodies. And while it's possible that I'm only friends with whores, I truly don't think that's the case. Do you live in New York City? People have insane numbers there. Oklahoma. The numbers in the Bible Belt are insane, I promise you. Before I became a parent, I never thought I would break up a fight at a living room guinea pig fashion show, yet here we are. The world is full of surprises. Your password must be between 732 and 942 characters. It cannot be the same as any word in any known language. It must include 3 hieroglyphs, ancient Babylonian text, and the solution to Fermat's last theorem. Good luck. Hey, don't cry. Crush 2 cloves of garlic into a pot with a dollop of olive oil and stir until golden. Then add 1 can of crushed tomatoes, a bit of balsamic vinegar, half a tablespoon of brown sugar, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and stir for a few minutes, adding a handful of fresh spinach till wilted. Mix in pasta of your choice, okay? It'll be fine. My daughter was 4. While we were sitting eating breakfast one morning, she says, I was on a mountain once, and my mom, dad died, and then I woke up and was in the house with you and mama. Then we just sat there for a few seconds and looked at each other. Then she said she wanted to watch Paw Patrol, so that's what we did. Out of order, please use ladies for pooping. Can you narrow down which lady she's on? I've been arrested for similar before. Just want to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's here. It's wild that you can just do anything. Date the wrong person, choose the wrong career. You can go outside and start eating dirt if you want, and the universe lets you. Not even a pop-up like, are you sure? No, just free will is crazy. Please, do not stand around the printer and do not sit on the table. Hugging the printer is not permitted either. John, thank you. What do you remember most from your first sex ed class? I remember Mrs. de Blasio, the school secretary, telling us to never believe a guy who said he couldn't wear condoms because they were too small. And then she stretched one over her head like a ski mask as proof. That's awesome. Hell yeah. The fun thing about English/literature class is that no matter your feelings towards English or literature as a subject, there's always that one short story that you remember decades later, because holy hot dogs, that was a f***ed up thing to make a 10th grader read. The Jaunt? Are you kidding me? All white people, stop use RedNote. You bring pervert and behavior to RedNote. No good. Look at all this white already spreads virus on RedNote. Shake arm bat like country flag. What make America most disgust? Now all this try to make China most disgust. What virus most strong? I'm not approved. Already making waves on RedNote, I see. The other one is Mango Loco if you have it. Yeah, that's the one that I wasn't comfortable grabbing. There's not another flavor. I have like 10 other flavors. It's just personal reasons as far as the mango flavor goes. Oh, yeah, well, the mango one is the other one we like. Alright, well, I'm not comfortable grabbing that due to my religious reasons. So can I maybe grab it now? My friend Mitch's wife got drunk and let it slip that they haven't made love in 3 years because he's addicted to online porn. So tonight, I surprise him with my famous baked beef rigatoni, and that's gonna set the mood just right for them. Me seeing a skinny, pale, drug-addicted, toxic, deadbeat man with an unusual name with personality disorders and would treat me like shit. Oh my god! Tattoos are for scumbags and whores. Guess which one I am. I can tell by the way you're looking at me that I'm suddenly the 26th President of the United States, Teddy Roosevelt. You have that Teddy Roosevelt stare. I can see it in your eyes, Perry. If you see a toilet in your dream, do not use it. This is a warning from someone who's wiser than you. Do you guys like their inner thighs being touched too, or is that just a girl thing? Depends. Are we assuming you're my wife, or did you, like, just put on a raccoon costume and break into my house through the second floor window with wooden ladders? Oh, should we have that kink too? Samesies, twins. Why are men still sending pics when we know they can be printed out and put inside a hollowed out courgette zucchini with crushed insects, dog food, rotting meat, and alum powder, and then buried under a poisonous tree in the cemetery while reading Psalms 37:2? Makes no sense. We're out here performing rituals. By age 26, you should have built a rocket, fought a mummy, climbed up the Eiffel Tower, discovered something that doesn't exist, and given a monkey a shower. If you haven't done those, you've wasted your summer vacation. You saw me at the Walmart and didn't say hi. What I saw at Walmart? I don't know what you're talking about. If you ever find a genie, and you're really craving a dessert that looks like this, do not say, I'd like a lifetime supply of raspberry crowns. Well, this is in fact the name of the pastry. It's also the name of a species of wasp for some reason. The genie, being a nasty trickster, will no doubt give you a bunch of wasps. This is an oddly specific toast. Are you okay? Did you get a bunch of wasps? Deer population is controlled by releasing wolves into an area. All problems should be solved that way. Too much pollution? Release wolves in factories. Dislike Congress? Wolves. Want to lose weight? That's right. Wolves. There's something so freeing about doing things wrong. Taking all the blankets off your bed and sleeping on the floor, wearing hoodies over vintage dresses, having pasta for breakfast and cereal for dinner. Small acts of rebellion against the idea that there's only one way to live your life. refusing to conform, even if it's only for your sake. That's what free will is all about. My dream? To stand on the street and say the words, yeah, I'm gonna have to call you back, while watching some sort of monstrosity overtake Manhattan. That's all I've ever wanted. Parents of Reddit, why don't you close the door when you're leaving our rooms? Well, because saying, son, your room stinks of the month-old socks that are clearly stuffed down the side of the bed. You need to come let some fresh air in here. Because I'm genuinely worried at this point that breathing the air that is currently in here technically counts as me swallowing your money shot. Well, that's just going to embarrass us both. So I just leave the door open. It's a lot easier that way. Request. If someone were to swim naked in a 50-meter freestyle swing race, how much would having an erect to reduce the drag, assuming he had an average-sized penis? Please answer quickly. This is time sensitive. Just showered and I'm smelling good as F. Who trying to chew on my labia like it's a Polly Pocket skirt? Tough crowd. We'll get them next time.
Try Little Caesar's Pizza Deal. 2 large pizzas for just $4.99 each. Online only. Pizza.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start, so he went to AutoZone, where an AutoZoner helps him choose a new battery, so he can make the tailgate and celebrate.
Late night street tacos are beautiful. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Apparently, the UK isn't in Europe. It's not? No, lol. Europe is in Europe, and UK is in UK. Europe is a continent which consists of many countries. No, you're saying Europe is a country? I hope you're trolling. UK is England. No, England is part of the UK. When I visited there, I actually had to ask because I'm stupid and never really looked into it, and schools didn't. Okay, they probably did teach me, to be fair. I'm stupid. I already told you, I'm dumb. But for a while there, I was confused on, we had Great Britain, the UK, England. I was like, what do I refer to this place as? Apparently not everything that happened in the past is history. That was supposed to be a facts about history page. But all I see is a bunch of stuff unrelated to it. Ninja Turtles came out 33 years ago. It's part of history. History is things like the Roman Empire, Gandhi, World War II, etc. Ninja Turtles is just a show, movie, series, whatever. Not history. Okay, you say anything bad about the Ninja Turtles again, I might have to hunt you down and, whoop your ass. The Civil War wasn't about slavery until the Union started losing. Lincoln needed to gain the support of the Northerners somehow, so he made a political move to include slavery. Otherwise, the people would have forced Lincoln to stop the unpopular war. Many Southern generals couldn't have cared less about slavery or fighting for it. Fact. So I'm taking it. You have a degree in history with a focus on American history during that time period. Because I do, and that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Normally I would ask where do they get this stuff, but I know where they get it. They just make it the hell up. Or they believe Cletus down the road, the guy that's, smoking crack all the time and lives in a shed. They trust him over the person who actually spent a long time, really learning the stuff. This particular comment was responding to someone saying how dogs in the Med kept cool by staying in the shade all day. Oh god, are we in for a real treat here? No, they don't. Stray dogs are always running around in the midday sun on boiling pavement and sand. It doesn't bother them. Okay. Dogs are exceptional, are regulating their own body temperature, and putting coats on them in the winter and cooling pads on them in the summer messes with it. It's called anthropomorphism. No. That is absolutely not what that word means. Assuming animals struggle with temperatures as humans do, dogs are dogs. They don't need us humans babying them and treating them as children. They're fine. Dogs have to regulate their damn body temperature by breathing harder and faster. My guy, what are you talking about? You're insane. I hope you don't own an animal. Not just a dog, any animal, please. This interaction on a TikTok about making pickles. Oh boy. Why do you use cucumber and not pickles? Pickles are cucumbers. Have you ever tasted a cucumber? Yeah, I don't think so. Are you slow? That is the kindest way to ask. Well, we know what they're asking. That's just the kindest way to do it. This person absolutely has to be trolling people, though. Come on, right? Right? You guys know pickles come from cucumber, right? You guys know that, right? Please. Yes, only the U.S. was colonized. Portuguese and Brazil just popped out of thin air. As a Brazilian, I never understood why Americans are so obsessed with ancestry and stuff like that. Many people here have Italian and Portuguese ancestry, and I never saw a Brazilian claiming to be Italian or Portuguese. Brazilian is an ethnicity, and American is a nationality. That's the difference. My friend, an American with Italian ancestry is still an Italian ethnically. Same for German Americans, English Americans. You should study about the colonization of the U.S. instead of talking bullshit. I mean, you freaks invent fictional pronouns like whatever those are, so, you know, it's difficult to converse with the patently insane. Seek therapy or a better therapist. Well, that's Dutch for he, him. Well, hey now, whoa. Don't make this guy look more stupid. He's already doing such a good job on his own. Eggs are apparently a dairy product. I didn't know that. Alright, taste of casserole, who cares? Alright, let's see. Please don't list a recipe as non-dairy, showing it calling for 8 eggs, and with a picture showing eggs as well. Sir or madam, what the hell is actually your problem? You know what? It's probably best for my health if I don't know. What's funny is, it was invented by an American, spelled aluminum, and pronounced aluminum. And suddenly Europe decided to change the spelling and pronunciation. You are the one who is wrong. Let's see here. Danish physicist. Okay, the discovery of aluminium by Hans Christian Ørsted. Is it Ørsted? The first industrial production of aluminium was initiated by French chemist, this fella in 1856. Well, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. I didn't think for one goddamn second that a scientist from the United States or Canada invented or discovered aluminum. Also, the only reason we say aluminum is because here that's how it's spelled. That's it. I don't really give a shit either way. If we started spelling it aluminium, oh no, that's so much harder to say. Oh no, oh no! You're clearly uneducated. There is no legitimate proof of evolution. You have no idea. I know this isn't the main point, but you're not really helping yourself by throwing an emoji in the middle of your, statement. Fellow commenter rambles this about a video where an armed Florida man used his baby as a shield against the police. Got tased, thinking the baby was shocked by the taser, but gets corrected and then downvoted to the deep end. Do you not know how electricity works? He was holding the child, so when he got tased, the kid also got tased. This is why cops should only use their weapons as an absolute last resort. They shouldn't even be carrying them on their person. Not how tasers work. The current only flows between the two barbs. It will not shock someone else only in contact with the person being tased. How did I not know that? Maybe I'm stupid. You know, maybe I'm the idiot. No, really don't do this. Your credit will get destroyed. Oh, great. Let's see. Students are refusing to pay back their loans when payment pause ends. Do not do this. It would leave a devastating impact on your credit history. Student loans have zero bearing on credit score, bro. Clearly, you don't even have a debit card yet. Huh? Excuse me? They what? Huh? Oh, I hate the credit score. It's such a psychotic scam. Why do we use it? Why do we use it? Oh, I know why. I'm not gonna get into it here, though. Yellow is me. Red thinks she's smarter than us super brains. Alright, tonight's final Jeopardy question, and none of the super brains got it. It's so easy. Alright, well, let's see here. He debuted on TV in 1967. The show's creator wanted someone from behind the Iron Curtain to be on our side. What was the category? There is no category for the final question. They bet all their money or some for the big win. Actually, there's always a category for Final Jeopardy. As a former contestant, I can assure you there is. If there wasn't, you wouldn't know how much to wager. It's not a category like the other two segments of the show have. It's just a question. No, there is a category. Before they cut to commercial break, if memory serves me correctly, right before they would cut, Alex, or whoever was hosting the show at the time, I completely forgot he's not doing it anymore for unfortunate reasons. I apologize. But anyway, right before cutting the commercial break. For Final Jeopardy, they would say, hey, this is the category. They would literally say it and show it to you. What are you talking about? On a video about someone finding a rodent in their outdoor foam pit, rat poop is poisonous, and you playing in that area and can get sick, throw the foam away and start over. That's a mouse. No, Stuart Little is a mouse. Remy is a rat. Please learn the difference. Rats are outside. Mouses are inside. Mouses, huh? Really? You went with Stuart Little's a mouse, Remy is a rat? Okay. You're right, I guess. Redditor confuses Puerto Rico with Costa Rica, yet pretty much knows exactly where it's located. I'm going to St. Martin in July. Hi, everyone. I'm going to spend my vacations in St. Martin in July. Could you recommend me what places to visit? What I must experience? The do's and don't. The singular don't. I have searched a few things by myself, but hearing from other people's experience is also a good idea. So could you give any suggestions? Thank you in advance. I think that's Puerto Rico. You need to do way more research on your end. I'm talking about the island St. Martin, and I pretty much know where exactly it is located. I just couldn't find the right Reddit forum to post/ask my question. So I thought, why not I ask another forum that might have a little bit information of the island? Costa Rica and St. Martin are nothing alike. Yeah, no. If you knew where the island of St. Martin is, then you would have known there's nothing that relates to this sub at all. It's not even close to Costa Rica. I think you're lost. Yeah, maybe. Just breathe. Just a few breaths. You get $10,000 if you make a girl reject you on a date in under a minute. What do? Breathe. Spelling breathe or breath like that will definitely get you 10K. Oh, but you know breathe and breath are two different words, right? Right? Am I reading them correctly? Have I suddenly forgotten how to pronounce those words? The comments are on a post about iron only naturally forming from stars. Our guy Red here disagrees. Yeah, not even close to true. Iron is found in rocks. I can't tell if this is sarcasm or not. Hey buddy, where do you think rocks came from before Earth formed? Hey buddy, stars aren't made of rocks or stone. You're so cute, OMG. Where do you think the rocks came from? Did the universe just start with them? Where did anything in the universe come from? Did the universe just start with stars and massive balls of flaming gas? Is this a trick question? Did you not learn that the Big Bang has been thoroughly disproven several times over, and that the laws of thermodynamics disprove it quite literally? Unless you believe that the entire universe and everything we know came from an atom that came from nowhere? Because if so, then wow, I hope no one listens to you. Where did it come from? And don't say God. And also, you're wrong about the whole disproven by laws of thermodynamics, by the way. The laws say matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So where did the matter come from then? The Big Bang Theory doesn't say that the explosion created the matter. All matter was condensed and the explosion dispersed it. Also, this has nothing to do with where iron came from. Keep your nonsense to yourself, Wiki Warrior. Ooh, I like the term Wiki Warrior a lot. I love it. Also, don't bother engaging with people that talk like this. Not the guy who's right. Don't bother engaging with people that just say shit. They made it up, and no amount of literal proof or evidence or anything will change their mind. These people have absolutely no intention of learning at all. They will never, ever, ever, ever change their mind. You could beat them half to death with this evidence. Figuratively speaking, of course. You beat them over the head with actual proof. You could have God come down from the heavens and say, hey, Steve, you're wrong. Still wouldn't sway them. So just don't waste your damn energy talking to really anybody online for anything like this. Just don't. The Appian Way? The Appian Way is a road in Rome built in 312 BC. It's over 2,000 years old and is still in use today. It was once one of the most important roads in Rome. Let's see. Yeah, I see where your math is a little strange. We're in the year 2023, so it ain't over 2,000 years old then, but no stress. You forgot what BC means, don't you? You forgot what it's fine. It's fine. Before chalupas. What are you gonna do about it? Got hit with this one today by a girl whose bio is I live and breath my children. Oh, I see. Breathe is either spelled breathe or breath. Same meaning, look it up. Okay, let's look it up really quick. Since this is the second time breathe and breath have popped up. Ah, yes, here we go. I googled breathe versus breath. Here we go. Breathe is a verb we use for the process of inhaling and exhaling. That's the one with the E on the end. Breath is a noun that refers to a full cycle of breathing.
Read your notes with your alignment in charge of keeping the lights heights to ensure power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
So, now you know which word to use. My, breathe doesn't smell, my breath smells. This person thought people and dinosaurs lived at the same time. Plenty of proof that man and dinosaurs lived at the same time. Okay, here is a .gov website showing that that's not true. No, I mean dinosaurs. There are tracks in flowstone of dinosaurs and man-made at the same time. Here's another link. Both Morris and Neufeld admit that these prints were carved during the Great Depression. So a little bit after dinosaurs were walking the earth, right? Me swallowing a tablet without any water. Tasted yummy. Apple does not sell tablets. Since when is that a tablet? It's an iPad. But it isn't a tablet. Tablet is from Microsoft and iPad from Apple. Two different things. Oh, good God. I made a magical thinking up a couple months ago. Wait. I made magical thinking up a couple months ago, apparently. What? What the hell is... Oh, I see what you're talking about. Wow, I just read really weird. What the hell is magical thinking? Y'all make up crap every couple months, I swear. Magical thinking is a concept that's been around in psychiatry for decades and is a symptom of OCD and schizotypal personality disorder, among other disorders. Not only did we, or I, not make this up, but it wasn't made up a couple months ago either. Yeah, there are a lot of people out there that think, I haven't heard of this, so it must be brand new. No, you just can't know everything, jackass. What kind of cells again? I was educated the same bullcrap you was educated in public school and in college. I'm fully aware of what they say in mainstream mainstream? Oh my God, you're a crackhead. One thing they leave out is the fact that we have mitochondria cells covering our whole body and our organs. Mitochondria cells cover your whole vagina inside and out. Antibiotics destroy your mitochondria cells, and they weaken the muscles inside of the vaginal canal. I wouldn't have made this post if I didn't know what I was talking about, but I'm at the point to where I don't give a shit about any of you people anymore. Okay, you can take your trilby off for 2 seconds, you 47-year-old. I don't give a crap. Mitochondria cells. Huh. Didn't we have a little meme going around talking about what the mitochondria is? The organelle that we can call the powerhouse of the cell? Snakes do not equal reptiles? Are you serious? Birds are dinosaurs in the same way that humans are hairy, rat-sized mammals. If you're going to call people out on being incorrect, don't call birds dinosaurs. I think you're doing the thing. Do it. What happens in your head when you do 27 plus 48? Please respond, I'm trying to see something. No, you're not trying to see something. You're trying to bring all of the idiots out and or make people feel stupid. Because trust me, 27 plus 48, give me 45 minutes of really I have to count one by one in my head because I can't just do that. I do not have the ability to go, oh, it's this. All right. Well, let's see here. 20 plus 40, 7 plus 8, total 74. Why are people here correcting me even when my answer is right? I don't know. I just use a calculator. 99% of people are unaware of the slushy, clingy sky ice. What 99% do not know about the dome is that sky ice clings to itself and is slushy. It's made entirely of microcrystal quartz that is so dry we don't even have a word for it yet. How it holds its shape is through a specific frequency, cymatics, similar to sand. Is this some Minecraft crap? The smug is strong with this one. Breaking. Comedian Dan Soder opens Taco Taqueria next to Joey Rose's. That is a boa, you uncultured swine. Huh? What? I mean, it's bow, but yeah. But what? I'm saying you're right, but also wrong, but mostly right. Wrong how? It's pork belly, kimchi, and cilantro? White people who like to pretend they're better than the other white people are creaming their little panties. Do you need more exotic ingredients to further turn these fusion-loving cucks on? Dude, what the literal shit are you talking about, man? What are you saying? I was talking to an actual astronaut on a post the other day. Is this so hard to believe? Alright, let's see. What do we got? I run a shipping company, and all of our warehouses use multiple couriers. It's not just common, it's the done thing. Depending on the size of goods and volumes to different destinations, the orders will be wildly different, and couriers sellers will go out of their way to win the business with low bids and good collection times. I run a shipping company. Yeah, but you don't though, do you? Well, yeah, I do. I'll grant you that's possibly a shipping company. Yeah, my shipping company. Go refresh the page and look at the MD's job title. To be fair, this is the internet. You have to be hypercritical of just about anything anybody says, even if it is somewhat believable. I don't know, man. The internet just sucks. But hey, look at that. MD and Chief Developer. Do schools not show solar system models anymore? Would anyone here trust the modeling community with the Earth's science of climate while knowing full well that they cannot equate one rotation with one sunrise, noon, sunset cycle every 24 hours? It's a fact not generally known that, owing to the difference between solar and sidereal time or sidereal time, the Earth rotates upon its axis once more often than there are 24-hour days in the year. That is the dumbest conclusion ever drawn by any society since humanity set foot on the planet and used their perceptive faculties. The clockwork solar system modelers like Newton had no way of knowing it was a misuse of timekeeping, yet it forms the basis of the scientific method. I'm kind of blown away right now. Someone with a human biology degree claiming to know how UTIs work. UTI is caused by air into the urethra and can be remedied by urinating after sex. This is 100% wrong. I have a degree in human biology. Downvote this if you want, but I am correct. This is caused more by no urination than hygiene. If you have a degree in human biology, then your university failed you. Regardless, I have a degree in biology as well, and also work with bacteria and infections on a daily basis at my lab. You're getting downvoted because you're 100% wrong. UTIs are caused by bacteria, or, very rarely, fungi, or fungi, if that's your choice, being introduced into the urethra. Full stop. There are multiple bacteria strains that can cause a UTI, but the most common is E. coli, a bacteria naturally occurring in our guts and therefore our feces. I'm also confident that 90% of South American countries are dictatorships. So there's that. Well, you're very confidently incorrect then, huh? Vertical distance and horizontal distance are hard concepts. Oh wait, here we go. 2,768 stairs, 2,000 vertical feet, 1 mile. The Manitou Incline, Colorado. Except 2,000 feet's not a mile. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. But still, that's a lot of steps. I happen to have climbed the Manitou Incline at least 15 times in my life. I can tell you it is an incredibly rewarding experience that will make you cry. Not because of your victory over the false summit, among other things, but because at the top you'll realize you burned so many calories, and you're about to burn a lot more on your 2+ hour walk back down to your car, that you get to go to IHOP and have yourself as many pancakes as you want without feeling guilty. No, really though, if you're not really physically fit, please don't do this. It will fuck you up more than you think. How to straw man? Badly. Okay. No. You claim great apes came from a pile of ooze and minerals and metals 4.6 billion years ago. Then, 700 million years ago, laugh out loud, they turn into humans. Then they turn back into apes, which means evolution de-evolved back to apes? Evolution sure is weird, huh? 2 Corinthians. Is it chapter 4, verse 4? I don't really care. Among them, the god of this world, Satan, has blinded the minds of the unbelieving to prevent them from seeing the illuminating light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. I don't know what that means. I don't need a rabies vaccine. I have an immune system. Oh, dude. I'm never having another vaccine of any sort ever again. No fucking way. Rabies doesn't progress in every case. Some people and animals recover, or are never infected after a bite in the first place. Most people immediately get injected before any symptoms appear. No, I won't be immediately getting a rabies shot if I get bitten by an infected animal. What the hell? No one ever recovered from rabies. It's 100% lethal once symptoms appear. Are you stupid? No, it's not. People survive after symptoms appear, just not often. I survived multiple... No, you didn't. 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 Rabies is close to 100% lethal once symptoms appear, as that person said. However, one person did survive without the vaccine, or at least one person that I know of. They were put into an induced coma for 2 weeks, and they were on breathing tubes and feeding tubes so that the fever could run its course. They lived, but that was a hell of a long shot, dude. Seriously, if anything bites you and you have any inclination, you go to the ER. I'm not kidding. Because if you run around with rabies, you will die in one of the most horrifically awful ways you could think of. Leave them wanting less is a very good piece of advice a lot of comics today seem to be forgetting. You got the laugh, now get out and tell a different joke or do a different skit. Almost got it. Apparently less equals more. Leave them wanting more? No, wanting less. It's a saying for your skit. Goes on for too long after the punchline or takes too long to get to the punchline. Trim the skit down. I don't know. What? Well, that settles that then. A flu shot was not a vaccine. Up until that injection, you supported being forced onto people a vaccine required one shot. What the hell are you talking about? Learn to type. Prevented catching and transmitting the virus. The flu shot never did that. Therefore, it was never a vaccine. Until the definition of a vaccine was changed after this shot was forced onto people. Now that one actually, that sentence should have been read better. I'm just stupid. Now all of a sudden, the flu shot, along with a whole host of other dangerous big pharma products, are considered a vaccine. Do you watch CNN? This is some radical stuff you're trying to convince others about. What? You seriously thought the flu shot was a vaccine all this time? And they really get offended if someone guesses their age correctly or goes slightly higher. There. Huh? Your correction was wrong. I'm crying. How? These Americans. This user. In other posts, he's a homophobe. Now he's an anti-Semite too? Damn, what a combo. Surely the targeted reader of those Malay conspiracy books? Did you know that there was a Muslim division of the SS? Did you know the Jews first declared economic war against Germany in 1933? Did you know the European didn't want the communism brought by mostly Jews? Simply stating facts here, then blah 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 blah. Quit spewing your stupid bullshit and get off the internet, you 14-year-old moron. Person who knows nothing about encryption thinks AI can break it. Hear me out. AI could decrypt this and find it out. Just take some time. AI has very little to do with encryption and would have no application to this problem. Currently, it knows a lot. I've told it to encrypt a message, which it does very easily. If it can encrypt in seconds, then it can decrypt something as well. Right. Do you not know how citations work? Oh boy, here we go. So, photosynthesis doesn't start to lose efficiency after a certain ppm of CO2. It doesn't completely break down at a specific concentration of CO2 in the air. If so, you need to get this critical finding out lots of people who have this wrong somehow. Oh, two. I didn't even see the word two in there. Sorry, when I read like that, it's because I get stuck because someone wrote something dumb or my brain just erased a word. Please provide a cite for this extraordinary discovery. Elringer James R. Thor Serling. Oh, I see, you're citing. Gotcha. That's a book, not a citation. Do you not know how citations work? Here's one, for example. Hyperlink. Here, I've linked to a primary source and the relevant detail that supports my point. Have fun reading your textbook and figuring out how wrong you are. See? Like I said, these people will literally never, ever, 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 ever change their mind. Someone asked for identification of a tick in an entomology group I'm part of. This conversation ensued. Yes, it does matter. This is a dog tick. They cannot carry Lyme. Good for you, blank. You're not an expert, and I can tell you from personal experience that I was told the same thing. Getting your family tested when you pull a tick off of them, and getting the tick tested is the only way to 100% know. You can argue all you want, but you're not an expert at this, and I know exactly what it's like to have this disease. I am an expert. I am a board-certified medical and veterinary entomologist. Shut up. On a scale of 1 to 10, the phylum Chordata is my favorite color of the alphabet. Foxes are lupine, not canine, completely different species. The problem with putting more effort into sounding authoritative than being accurate is, you reveal you're an idiot. Canine is the layman term for all animals in the family, is it Canidae? Or Canidae? Which includes every animal in this list plus a few more, like the bush dog and the raccoon dog. The problem with putting more effort into sounding smug than being accurate is that you reveal you're not only an idiot, but also a jerk. Oh, and furthermore, lupine means wolf-like, not fox-like. The term you were looking for is vulpine. Foxes are both vulpine and canine, but they are distinctly not lupine. People living in the Victorian era were healthier and lived as long as people do now. Okay. Life expectancy was skewed by infant mortality. Oh my god. Most of these people probably lived just as long as you'll live, and healthier too. Okay. Their food was real. Their environment wasn't polluted. They exercised. They weren't obese. Yeah, why do you think that is? And sick on 30 pharmaceuticals to stay alive. They could afford a home and a Dude, you are f***ing stupid. What a good father, helping his baby with its alcohol addiction by locking away all the liquor. Too bad the door barely even hangs on the cabinet. Kid's probably been going on raging benders and ripped it off. I'm sorry, I can't not. It's... What? It's cannot or can't. I can't not be sorrier for the way I cannot allow you to incorrectly correct the use of its, even though it was used incorrectly not today. What? Okay, apparently peeing is a type of birth control. It's a what? She has to pee or she'll get pregnant. Please tell me that's a joke. It's hard to tell without tone, and it's on the internet, so there's no telling. Just for my own sanity, please tell me you're joking. When girls pee out of their vagina, the pee pushes the sperm out so it can't reach the egg. You should have learned this in middle school health class. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Assuming a best-selling Australian author would use American spelling and grammar. Maybe before you post your recipes, you should spell check them. As you've misspelled some words, but don't worry, I'm here to make sure you get the right spelling from now on. Color, correct. You misspelled correct. You're trying to correct them and you fumble. Stop typing there. Your sentence no longer matters. Correct spelling color. Flavor, correct spelling flavor. You picked it up on the second correct. And there is no S at the end of the abbreviation of minutes. It's just min. Vienna is Austria. Australia is about 8,000 miles east. Vienna is the capital of Australia. Do a quick Google before you correct people, huh, buddy? Oh, no. He's blind to the letter L. He doesn't know it's not there. He can't see it. He thinks that's Australia. You know, Salzburg, the famous home of the drop bear. Bad Bunny has endorsed Kamala Harris. I'm very late to this one, I can see. He's not even American! But readers have added some important context, courtesy of the history.state.gov. Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Sorry. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen this second part of the tweet. I've never seen the return of it. Community noting a comment is so weird. Oh my god, y'all are so obsessed with me. No. We're not obsessed with you. We're just preventing the spread of misinformation. Learn more about community notes here. the politest get fucked I've ever read. There's no way that there's a third. Oh, she's fighting demons. She's fighting demons. Slapboxing Beelzebub right now. My original comment's correct. He's not American, he's Puerto Rican. Four question marks. Once again, Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Sorry. How do you lose the triple down? That's insane. Pack it up and try again later.
Introducing Chipotle's new high protein menu. It's real protein you want to eat.
Continue to set goals for yourself. And help your family make some too. Are you ready for the reserve?
This is money. This is a game changer right here. As a firefighter, I barely have time for myself, let alone go shopping. Now I just let Stitch Fix pick and try it all at home. Let's try everything on. I like it. It fits well my arms and my chest. This one feels money. Keep what I love and just send it back what I don't. And they even give you $20 off your first fix. If you haven't tried it yet, take your style quiz today.
On a meme about Optimus Prime supporting queer folk, someone mentioned the Bible. That's the most interesting cross-section I've ever seen. We got Transformers, the LGBT, and the Bible. There aren't any evil acts in the Bible. Nice try, though. I read that something. It's cover to cover, not one evil act. The words were hard to get through, too many syllables, but I made it through. Imagine being so confidently arrogant. I am not British. I am English. With 1 million British flags, or English flags, whatever. Wrong flag then. What's the right one? You don't know what the English flag is? No. sketch where Jordan Peele's playing as Neil, and he goes, well, actually, I hear that every time I see a Community note. Well, actually, Canada joined the World War II war effort September 10th, 1939. The U.S. joined the war effort in December of 1941. So he kind of just rode on their coattails or something. 2 degrees right here, right now in Canada. Celsius, you founding Americans! Yeah, we use Celsius in Canada too. It's 2 degrees Celsius here right now in Canada. You are so clueless. It's your, with the apostrophe, R-E. If you're gonna call someone clueless, you best come with flawless spelling and punctuation. Otherwise, you too look clueless. Colonial language. Wild phrase. Spain didn't have colonies. Cope. I don't even have the context for this. I can't even make a proper joke because I have no context. I have no idea what they were arguing over. I just see the war that happened in the comments. Oh boy, here we go. That's where you're not getting science. There are XY ovaries with XX male organs. There's XO, XXY, triple XY, 46XX, and 46XY, and more. Science recognizes transgender, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Hate to say it, human female eggs do not carry chromosomes. That's the human male sperm. Oh my goodness. I feel like Twitter's the worst place for this kind of argumentation anyway. Like, this is... What we didn't see after this are the 8 comments with some form of slur usage. You know what I mean? There are 8 replies here where there is some sort of horrible word being thrown. Now this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. Dear Brits, if you're gonna drop the word meal in the sentence, I had a blank meal, drop the to. Example, I had blank. Not only do you get to drop another word, but it makes more sense too. As a Brit, I couldn't care less about what an American thinks about grammar and syntax in the English language. It's, I could care less. Ah, so you do care, just a little bit, right? Even just an iota of care exists in your system, huh? Appreciate that. What do you disagree on with them? Evolution theory. What is your understanding of evolution theory? So far, a beautifully respectful conversation, on Twitter no less. We can rebuild. I understand that it violates physics. Can't hear it when I'm making a whistle like a bomb dropping. That's the IQ falling off the roof. Right in our face. Right in our face. And then we have fossil evidence to show that it didn't happen. This is something that I make Reddit videos, I talk about horror, I talk about wrestling, I talk about video games. This is not my realm of expertise, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know. I'm not gonna go and Google and then spend an hour researching. But this just sounds stupid. Does it not just sound dumb? I don't know. Apparently there's some confusion here about Kate Middleton's statement. Quote, it really has made a difference to William and me. William and me is grammatically correct. William and I would have been incorrect. Hope that helps. It's William and I. My husband and I, personally, I think she wrote it that way to be one of the people. It is the way we talk, but grammatically it's I. This one I do know. It is William and I. William and me doesn't sound right. That hits my ears and annoys me. That's not correct. Hashtag Assassin's Creed Odyssey lets you be as gay as you want. This takes place in ancient Greece, right? The Greeks followed religious doctrine. So they would kill somebody for being gay. Would they now? Therefore, for this series, which prides itself in its historical realism, apart from characters having an impact, is going to add this. It's wrong. Oh, you think ancient Greece wasn't gay? I know ancient Greece followed Christianity. Dudes were kissing dudes back in ancient Greece. They do it today too. Isn't that beautiful? We could learn a thing or two. OMG! As a nurse, I can't even tell you how many men were shocked that urinary catheters, indeed, are not placed in the vagina. Yes, there are 3 holes. Sorry, I'm like in shock. You do. There is a urethra, like there's a puke. Did they not know this? I thought it all came out the same place. Oh my god. Wait until guys know that pee isn't stored in the balls. vagina is the whole area in the crotch. Sorry, the crouch. Including all of the holes. That is what they taught us in sex ed school, and I will believe a teacher over some idiot on the internet. And I'll believe that with my whole crotch area. Hell yeah, dude. Nothing in life is free, unless you're an illegal immigrant in a sanctuary city. Whoa! 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 I didn't even register what I was reading until I was done with the sentence. Universal health is your tax dollars, not free. If taxpayers are paying for it, then it's free for people who can't afford it. Do you know how insurance works? I paid for my insurance. I don't expect anyone else to pay it for me. I see. That's very silly of you. Alright, I'm gonna go. We've hit our quota for most political posts in the subreddit. I think we're moving on now. Oh no! I shouldn't have said a word. God damn it, I shouldn't have said a word. Oh man. 1 in 1,000 African Americans have been killed because of coronavirus. The most remarkable thing about Biden's statement, it was true. So, 0.001% is a horrifying stat? Thank God I'm a math major. Do people not understand how numbers work? That number sounds amazing to me. Only 0.001% have died. Well, 1 out of 1 is 100%, 1 out of 10 is 10%, 1 out of 100 is 1%, 1 out of 1,000 is 0.1%. You added 2 extra zeros there, big bro. If you're a math major, you might want to drop out, bro. You might want to put the fries in the bag, brother. Because you don't get about numbers. Median income isn't the average, or even the typical income. It's just the middle value. Most people make far below the median income. Well, 50% to be precise. Again, that's not what median is. Median means middle. They both have M in it. Rocks don't reflect light. Neither does the moon. The moon is not a reflector. It emits its own light. It's not rock, and you cannot land on it. Excuse me. Do we have a moon landing denier in the Big 2-5? Now ask yourself, what else am I being lied on about? Or lied to? Whatever. Well, actually, this rock is literally reflecting light. Things can be seen because they reflect light. You are dumb. Whose grandma's on Twitter right now? Get me off the phone. She's posting moon landing propaganda again. It's not real. There has never been another nation ever that has existed much beyond 250 years. Not a single one. America's 250th year is 2025. The next 4 years are going to be pretty interesting considering everything that's already been said. My local pub is older than your country. It's great service too. France is known for wine. Japan is known for sushi. Brazil is known for carnival. What is Ireland known for? Braveheart, but they'll never take our freedom. That's Scotland, you clown. Sail Island. Oh, shit. Were they found dead after this? It's a bold statement. Wow. Your Japanese need to learn some geography for once. Oh, sorry. Sorry, he wasn't saying you're Japanese. He's saying you Japanese. Okay. Need to learn some geography for once in your lives. This channel is from Pennsylvania, not America. And people like you call Americans ignorant. Give me a break! Isn't Pennsylvania one of the 50 states in America? No, it's where they made pencils, right? Hence the name Pennsylvania. It's a cent, not a penny. The British mint pennies, the USA is mint cents. See picture. Alright, I'm looking. I think I'm too dumb to get this one. Pretty sure cent is just one cent, 1 coin, right? Duck feathers and their hydrophobic properties. Phobic is the wrong word. They are repellent of water. The water is not afraid of the feathers. Society has screwed up the definition of phobic and phobia. And they get to be a part of the U.S. Census. Isn't that crazy? If they're from the U.S., that is. They get to be a part of the U.S. Census. Isn't that crazy? Professional photographer is told, no, when they try to correct someone who got their fact backwards. Also, the focal length of the mugshot is probably shorter, which makes your face look wider. That's the wrong way around. Longer focal lengths widen the face, shorter ones narrow it. No. Yes. I am a professional photographer, cinematographer, and published author. Bang, bang, bang! A three-peat on those and related subjects. I spend my entire working life and much of my non-working life behind the camera or at a computer looking at pictures. Last year I shot probably, 500,000 photos. I am intimately portrait subject. Goodness gracious. But fine. Don't believe me and don't want to do literally 5 seconds of Googling before you tell someone they're full of it? Fine. I'll do it for you. Oh my god. The Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. My partner takes me to a beautiful beach at sunset with his family. Look, algae mustache. That's nice, dear. Can't take us, a phycologist anywhere nice. I believe I said that right, phycologist? Try psychologist instead. Spelling counts, people. Learn how to, or look it up in the dictionary for a change. Hi there. Phycologist with an H is someone who studies algae. I am a phycologist with an H because I study algae. That's why me putting algae on my face is the joke. Glad to be part of your learning journey today. You try looking it up in the dictionary for a change. If you have trouble swallowing pills, make sure to ask your doctor or pharmacist before doing this because lots of pills are designed to reach certain areas of your body before they dissolve. Certain parts? You mean part? The stomach. Where else is it going to dissolve? After the stomach? Yeah. Pills with an enteric coating are designed to withstand stomach acid so they dissolve in the small intestine or afterwards. Literally, yes. As a black woman, you have the Eve gene, which makes you able to procreate. Black women create all. White women can't procreate? No, they cannot. Do your research. They're not capable. They can't do it. Many have tried. All have failed.
At Olive Garden, we're all about more craveable classics and more made-from-scratch sauces, which begs the question, what could possibly be next?
How about delivery?
Olive Garden now delivers, only at olivegarden.com.
This is a place where one voice can spark a change with something happens. We work together, building community, shaping our future. We're not done.
Beauty bloggers must be abolished. That's the message. Great. What's the reason for them? To mess up the human DNA? Turn men into women, women into men. It needs to be abolished. Yeah, I meant besides the trans thing. What else would it be used for medically? Is there even a reason? I just told you what the purpose is, and there's no other purpose besides that. It's being so real. These are two people bumping their stone brains against each other. You hear that sound of rock clanking against rock? It's these two boneheads going back and forth. Raw is law! Because bacteria do not exist. Well, actually, bacteria make cheese, converting milk through fermentation. Dummy. It's like only one country exists. What instantly ruins a salad for you? The realization that I actually wanted a steak instead, but I'm trying to be healthy or something. Realization. Ah, I see. We don't... No, you're dumb. There's two spellings, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. Thank you for your very useful comment. This may be hard for you to comprehend, but not everyone spells it using the American spelling. But good on you for trying. Doesn't matter what everyone uses. Realization is the correct spelling. It may surprise you, but there are other countries outside of America. Also, the place that came up with the language, England, they use S and not a Z. But you do you. None of that matters. It's with a Z, never with an S. Well, of course it matters. If you choose to flat out ignore it, then that's on you. It's ironic that you're not going to realize the error of your ways. But keep pushing that Z. Thanks for the laugh. Realize with a Z. Sound logic, Captain America. Then shouldn't your name be spelled with an N? It's with an N, never with an N yet. Nice try. You're not going to get me this time. I'm squeezing these seeds and nothing is happening. Have you ever tried to press a flax seed? Does any juice or oil come out? No. Hence they make up this bullshit manufacturing process to make oil. Even if they say it's cold pressed, it's not. The seed simply doesn't have enough oil content. Yeah, you're being lied to, buddy. What's tofu made of, bud? No one. Absolutely no one. Seriously, not a single soul. By Crohn's disease. So you can't digest soy anymore. Hope you enjoyed that tofu because you're never having it again. Oh, did I not give you a heads up first? Oh, so sorry. You can put any sauce on tofu to give it flavor. How is this helpful in any way right now? Well, the LP was bitching about their Crohn's disease preventing them from eating tofu. I'll let them know that they can put any sauce other than soy sauce on it. I want you to look up what it's made of right now. Look up what it's made of and get back to me. There are 28 people slaughtering him in the quotes. 500,000 miles is low. The fuck? Oh boy. So he believes that there's 500,000 miles on this Silverado, and he's like, "You're lying. There's no low mileage. It says 50,000. It's 50,000 miles. Some dumbass apparently didn't finish school." Bro, you stupid ass freak, dumbass. That first zero is for 1 million miles, you stupid motherfucker. Now take off that low mileage part, dumbass. Exactly. Now who's the one that didn't finish school, stupid motherfucker? Oh my god. Oh my god. Whatever makes you feel smart, bro. You interested? You want to buy it? Yep, can't confirm there's an on/off switch. That period thingy, yeah, that period thing, it's a scam. Those ladies know how to turn it off if they really want to. Whoa! That gender would stop a day flow for any guy they're into. No, not how it works. Not quite how it works, buddy. Lighting on the left is perfect temp for a train. Lighting on the right is perfect temperature for a dentist. Please get rid at, what is that, Thames Link? I don't think you know what the word temperature means. No, I believe lighting temp is correct. I believe lighting temp is the right word there. Another day of Texans overestimating how big Texas is. For context, there was a discussion on speed cameras in Europe. To be clear, Texas has between 590,000 to 680,000 miles of road, depending on which source you believe. The European Union, not all of Europe, just the EU member states, has over 3 million. That just simply wouldn't work. Texas alone has more miles of road than Europe does in its entirety, I'm pretty sure. There's just too many miles of roads in the U.S. to make it a plausible option. Maybe for certain sections of certain highways or interstates, though. Roll Tide. I'm a dumb guy. Transphobe embarrasses themselves. Oh my god. And don't forget your Adam's apple, ma'am. Can't change your DNA. Everyone has an Adam's apple. You need to go back to anatomy class. Granted, I never paid attention. I was too busy wondering how the drywall looked like that. But you need to go back. Do you know what Trinity means? It basically means a solid group of people. It means 3. It could mean 3. It could also mean 4, 5, or 6. You're being sarcastic, right? The prefix tree means 3. No, not always. Does the tree in the word field trip mean you're going on 3 field trips? Don't always believe prefixes. You're wrong there, dear. Males are the hive gate's guards. They kill anything that threatens the hive's existence. Without males, there will be no women. Remember, Eve came from Adam's left lower rib. Yeah, male honeybees don't do any of that. They don't do any of that, actually. When you're from the UK and don't even know the geographic boundaries of your own country, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England. Are we not all British? I'm Welsh, but also British. Get over it. No wonder there are wars everywhere. We all belong to this beautiful planet Earth. Oh, man. Give peace for a chance. I fear for us all. And the best part is he's dumb. But he's like, stop fighting. Oh, man. Welcome to this conversation between my co-owner and a new member. Oh my god, South America? Where from? I'm from South America, but currently studying in the U.S. Utah. What? Yeah, buddy, that's not South America. Yeah, no, South America's a continent. I beg to differ. You're wrong, I'm right, go Utah. Don't data centers recycle their water, so like the water usage is actually kind of overstated? No, you can't recycle water. If you turn a liquid into a gas, it's gone. Otherwise, you can just recycle the gas in your car. What? That's just not how it works. Combustion of gas is a totally different process than the evaporation of water. It would be very simple to cool the water and recycle it. When my colorblind husband dresses our 25-week-old son. Why 25 weeks? It's 2 years! Hold on now. I believe that's wrong. It's really just a Spanish, y'all. No, it's not. It's literally the Spanish form of plural you. I wish people who clearly don't know anything about it stop blabbering. You do know what y'all means, right? Have you ever spelt out y'all, like broken it down? You know what it means? You're just mad. You're. No, that's only if something's yours. Oh, no. Oh, no. They lost.
When I was 6, my sister was half my age. Now I'm 70. How old's my sister? 35. Let's have a hard one next time, please. That sure is a lot of likes on that. I genuinely don't know if they're not called that on Facebook, are they? Because you've always got these stupid little emojis down here now, so I don't know. Is it just you get to react with anything, I guess, now? He couldn't figure out this basic math rule. Even after the website he linked proved him wrong. Wait, really? I love that. Okay, that means less less than 5. That means more than 5. How are y'all so dumb? This is defined as the greater than sign. This is defined as the less than sign. Replacing the signs with words, you said greater than 5 means less than 5.5, greater than means more. Your second example of this, because I'm stupid and can't remember any signs from math, it's actually helpful that I'm reading this right now, is greater than the number to the right. You must not have read the website you linked to. It actually disproves you. You're simply just wrong. So confidently wrong. Wrong. Look it up, lol. I did. You are wrong. You fool. You're wrong. But you know what's not wrong? The new merch over at mkshop.com. Make sure you use code BOOBIT at checkout to get yourself free shipping. For those who clearly don't know basic multiplication and math, 3 plus 2 equals 5, and 5 times 3 equals 15. Therefore, 3 plus 2 times 3 equals 15. Update on what they said after I told them it is not 15. Me. I can tell you that it's not 15. Them. Source. Tons of textbooks, calculators, websites, being a math major. Dude, I said basic, not advanced math. What you're talking about is advanced math, not basic math. God damn, people will say anything, won't they? How does easy mode not make things easy? Wait, what? There's even a built-in easy mode. Yeah, with Toadette and Nabbit. Would you say SMB3, what is that? Super Mario Bros. 3? Is easy because you can give yourself infinite P-Wing with a Game Genie? Having an easy mode doesn't make the game easy. That's the literal point of an easy mode. An easy mode doesn't make a game easy, else it wouldn't need to have an easy mode. Then what does it do? Bro, I'm gonna need you to tell me what easy mode does. I like that. This phrase right here kills me. An easy mode doesn't make a game easy, else it wouldn't need to have an easy mode. You need to explain that entire statement. You're not... What? Are you high? Tetanus comes from cow manure, and if you get cut, just let it bleed. That'll naturally clean it. Soap and water? You're good. Actually, tetanus comes from something I can't pronounce, which can be present in manure. And no, it is not the most efficient way to prevent tetanus. Sorry, wrong. Nothing can enter your bloodstream if you let it bleed. You don't need poison in your body to stop anything. Immune system is amazing. This man is going to die within the next 5 years. Fun fact, not every injury bleeds. Fun fact number 2, not every bleeding completely cleanses the wound. Fun fact number 3, that thing I can't pronounce does not even need to enter the bloodstream to produce tetanospasmin. Is that what that word is? I've never seen that full word. Dictionary? I never heard of it. Dictionaries aren't real, they're a liberal hoax. It doesn't make sense to tip somebody anything because it is done to ensure prompt service. You received no prompt service, but in fact that person made you a bigger problem. What? To ensure prompt services. What are you ensuring? Because it seems to me it's not spelt TEPS. Also, insure is to compensate. Ensure is to make something the case. Not sure how you came up with that one. Lol. Okay, why don't you adjust your glasses, nerd? I can prove 0.999 doesn't exist. Step 1, 0.999 equals 1 minus 1 minus 0? Huh? What? My unemployed boyfriend claims he has simple proof that breaks mathematics. I did see this. Can anyone verify this proof? I honestly think he might be crazy. Copying and pasting the text he sent me. Okay. This is false and I can prove it. Proceeds to not prove it. That means that 0.999 must be a fake number because having 0.999 existing will break the foundations of mathematics. I'm dumbfounded no one has ever realized this. Edit. I texted him what was said in the top comment, pointing out the mistakes, and he instantly dumped me. That man is going to die within the next 5... Okay, he's not, but he's going to go his entire life thinking he's smarter than everyone on Earth. Smarter than the smartest people that have ever lived. The people that came up with everything he's claiming to disprove using what they created. I don't know. He's gonna have a very harsh life. Time to find a new boyfriend. I can prove that. Birds are dinosaurs. Crocodiles are not. There are a few literal dinosaurs left, like crocodiles and alligators, and more in the ocean. But all surviving ones are in the ocean. Those aren't dinosaurs. It has to do with the formation of the hip joint and leg positioning. Crocs sprawl, and dinosaurs' legs were directly under their bodies. You have no idea what you're talking about. Go do some research. Yes, they're considered living dinosaurs. They're a lot smaller now than they were back then, but they're the oldest living creature known to humans. The oldest living creature known to humans. Is that right? Is that correct? I always love people that do that. You have no idea what we're talking about. Go do some research. Do some research. Bro, shut the hell up. Crocodiles are not dinosaurs. But both crocodiles and dinosaurs came from the crown group Archosaurs. Archosaurs? Yeah. Archosaurs were reptiles that included birds, crocodiles, pterosaurs, and dinosaurs. Modern-day birds are descendants of feathered dinosaurs evolving over the last 65 million years. See, I love that because he says go do some research. One Google later, boom, here's the answer to that. But he will come back going, no, here's some weird, creepy bullshit in the basement of Google's second page. This is the true stuff, by the way. It's actually the opposite. A cool guide to what blood groups you can or can't receive. Asshole O negative can receive from everyone but can't give to anyone. Oh, she didn't start a physical altercation. She threw a glass of wine in your face. There's no physical contact between you and her at that point. I know you think you had a gotcha there, but yes, John Cena would be a pussy for attacking someone over getting a glass of wine thrown in his face. You're an idiot, ma'am. Yes, I do believe that splashing liquid on someone is tantamount to a form of assault. I don't think it counts as battery, but I do believe it is a form of assault. Just like sneezing or spitting on somebody on purpose or coughing on them, that is also a form of assault, I'm pretty sure. So maybe don't go splashing people with random shit, because it's not okay. Racist doesn't realize Al Bowley was South African, while complaining about Africans, alright? England and the US were such lovely places before they became Africanized. Excuse me? Africa was doing just fine before the English turned up. You should look up Mr. Bowley's early life and how African it actually was. Wow. Red blood cells are not real cells. What? Yes, because even if we disregard non-human cells in the body like bacteria, most human cells by number are mature red blood cells, which do not have a nucleus and therefore no DNA. Ha 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 ha. You think red blood cells are actually cells? Ha 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 ha. Yes? Are you really suggesting that they're not? Well, they aren't by definition. By definition, they don't have organelles and a nucleus and don't divide. It's literally just an oxygen transport. By definition. Hang on, let me go look this up. Alright, you want to know what the first 3 words of the definition of red blood cells is? Red blood cells. You know the name? Cells? Also referred to as red cells? Are you serious? Huh? Austin is home to nearly 10% of the homeless population in the entire United States. And 94% of statistics quoted on Reddit are made up. There are 550,000 homeless people in America, almost 5,000 in Austin. Do the math, genius. You move the decimal point twice to make 10% into 0.10. What happens, or 0.10, excuse me, what happens when you move the decimal point twice in 550,000? That's right, 5,500. Or at least that's the only way I can see them coming up with 10% of 550,000 is 5,500 instead of 55,000. By this guy's reasoning, Los Angeles has 160% of the remaining homeless population. Woo! I knew there was a lot there, but that statistic is huge. Customer leaves review for a new restaurant. Oh boy, this ought to be good. First time trying this place, never again. Found a huge piece of plastic in my food. Looks like the handle of something broke off. Obviously threw everything away in case there were smaller bits. Hi there. Thank you for your review. I'm sorry to hear about this experience. By looking at the photo, we can tell that it's not a piece of plastic, but a cinnamon stick that we use as spice. In one of our dishes that we cook, of course, obviously. Please call us if you'd like to discuss this more with us. I'd be more than happy to hear your concerns and sort this out with you. Bro didn't know what a cinnamon stick was? Morgan Freeman. But did he go there? Bible go. This hurts my brain. Pretty sure that guy would turn the 1-syllable name Aaron into a 3-syllable name, Aaron. 1 syllable? Are you having a stroke? 2. Don't go there. You're gonna be featured in this group. Maybe that's what you want? Seriously? I thought you were kidding. Aaron is 2 symbols. I'll die on this hill. Post it. At me in the posting. I want to watch the roasting. Change your mind? Aaron. I'm just gonna go with Aaron. It's better, dude. Alright. A plus B equals 3. A plus B plus C equals 6. A plus B plus C times 4 is what? 15? You failed math. 24. I don't know, dude. No, we eradicated it, asshole. No, smallpox will kill you, dumbass. Literally never seen a smallpox case in my life. Another fake disease to be scared of? Man, the fact that you ain't never seen a smallpox case in your life is pretty awesome, okay? That's pretty good. You wanna know why you haven't seen it? Because we destroyed it, dipshit. Funny you say that, but no one's ever really observed a germ. We've seen this one before. Yeah, this guy, the one at the end who says, have you seen one without the aid of a microscope? Yeah, microscopes aren't real. They're propaganda. Bro added the facepalm emoji and everything, and commented the same comment twice to two Dolphin people. Alright, let's see here. For all the medicated Barbies out there, oh, well, Butrin was awful, alright. And I'm not rich enough for Vyvanse, Lexapro, or Zoloft. Where the hell is... what is that? Zoloft is the other name for that. It's literally the first one on there. Excuse me? What? Alright, how do you pronounce this? Names are awful, okay? Seroquel is a fairly intense antipsychotic. Zoloft is an antidepressant. Yay.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Granger's here for you with professional grade supplies. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Transferring friends into WGU was it was a great experience. I went to 6 or 7 other universities. WGU just said here, we'll take care of it. It was seamless, and I knocked out almost 3 years worth of credits I did in about 14 months. Learn more.
The Tax Act is here to remind you you have to do your taxes. Let's get them over with.
Humans are not animals. If you actually had brain cells, you would know. Well, you're disproving what you're saying already. I mean, your intellect level's down there with the common house cat, so you would definitely be an animal. Reading comprehension. Jesus. Saying it affects 1% of the people abusing the glitch is not synonymous with saying 1% of the people play hardcore. Hyperbolic example to reflect the principle was the issue. The people have spoken. It's done. Affects. It's actually effect. I could see how you'd become confused, though. Nice try. Effect is most commonly used as a noun meaning a result or consequence, as in cause and effect. Change was made, negatively affected. No, dude, come on, bro. Are you kidding me? Come on. They don't know what a noun is either, apparently. Hey, to be fair, I don't even know what a word is. You've gotten off lucky. The smugness is killing me, alright? Are you actually serious? Yeah, there's no such thing as an asexual human. Okay, asexuals aren't going to be any less real no matter how many times you say it. YouTube is preventing me from educating you further on this, so you've gotten off lucky. What does that mean? All that nonsense is a bunch of quirky Zoomers that don't want to admit to being incompatible with most of the people they meet. Whatever you say, dipshit. I can't believe you actually said, sorry, YouTube is too fun. You're lucky. You're lucky I'm going to go back to watching, well, a bunch of names I don't actually want to name because I don't want to help platform them, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Sorry, but milk isn't dairy. Cheese is dairy. You try so hard to get it right when you're wrong, it's pathetic. Milk is considered dairy in at least 6 countries that I have lived in. How is it not dairy? Because this is America. In America, we do things the right way. Okay. They're literally called dairy cows. Yeah, but cows make cheese and milk. Different udders for different products. Read a book. Yes, but for some reason they don't ever make cheese from the strawberry or chocolate cows. You know what? That's a good point. Where the hell is my strawberry and chocolate cheese? Not being able to name at least 5 African countries is wild. Alright, let me try. Egypt, Uganda, South Africa, Congo, Nigeria, Rwanda. Bro said South Africa. That ain't a country, that's a direction. Huh? What? One more time. Balloons are made of plastic. Unnecessary plastic waste, OP. Balloons are filled with air, not plastic, and balloons themselves are made of rubber. And that many will probably fit in 1 or 2 trash bags, which is tiny compared to how much trash that congregates just from unclaimed freebies. I have spoken. He got you. He got you. He's spoken. No, that's it. That's it. I do absolutely fucking despise balloons, though. I hate it. I hate it. I think one of the most wastefully stupid things I've ever seen in my life was a woman carrying a bundle of balloons out of my local grocery store. Yeah, you can get them there. And she had it wrapped in a plastic trash bag because it was raining. You know, I understand, don't want to get my balloons wet, but there's something about balloons in general that just feels really stupid. I mean, I'm not saying you're dumb if you like them. I get it. Like, they're fun, they're goofy. You know, it just, to me, hate them. Can't fucking stand them. Balloons are made of latex more often than not. Latex is the stabilized, vulcanized sap from a tree. Your Your shiny, flat, novelty number balloons are made of mylar, which is a plastic, but not your run-of-the-mill floating inverted teardrop, but your run-of-the-mill, okay, I see. It does eventually biodegrade. Not great for the environment and still a hazard for wildlife. Sea turtles are known for mistaking them for jellyfish, for example, but not plastic. A lot of things are called rubber, some of which are plastic, silicone, polyurethane, neoprene, nitrile, all rubbers of a sort and classed as plastics. Latex is indeed a notable exception, and humans have been using it significantly longer. Okay, I don't know why I can't read. I have spoken. Yeah, that's what I said, dude. They've spoken, bro. That's it. All there is to it. You lose. OP is the kind of person who thinks spraying someone with a hose is assault. It literally is. No. Yes, it is. Look, I'm pretty sure that if you do anything to somebody else, especially if it makes physical contact with you and they did not want you to do it, that can count. That's not okay at all. If you spray me with a hose and I didn't say, yeah, go ahead, or consent to having a water fight with you, yeah, dude, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. I draw the line at spreading misinformation. Check the facts before you look like Red. Alright, so Red's the idiot. Thank you. That's a tortoise. Turtles live in water. Nope, all tortoises are turtles. Not all turtles live in the water. You are so wrong. Tortoises have more rounded and domed shells, where turtles have thinner, more water-dynamic shells. Water-dynamic? Turtle shells are more streamlined to aid in swimming. One major key difference is that tortoises spend most of their time on land and turtles are adapted for life spent in water. All tortoises are in fact turtles. That is, they belong to the order of, well, stuff. Reptiles having bodies encased in a bony shell, but not all turtles are tortoises. Wow, Britannica, check that out, pal. Blue check musk stamp, a tail in 4 parts. Oh no. The original owner of the X handle says Twitter took it without paying. They offered him merch and a tour of the office. Whoa! This is Cap via Telegraph, yet there's no article saying this. Huh? You know, I thought the guy himself said that. It is kind of lame. You know, I understand, kind of, but this rebrand has been so pathetic that he just has to take an active at from somebody. Like, bro, you couldn't just make a different one? No, not a different handle. I mean, you've got the inner workings of the website at your fingertips. You couldn't just allow for another X? Who gives a shit? Is it literally impossible to have 2 of the same at? I mean, what's gonna happen? Someone looks it up and they both pop up? Ooh, oh my god. I mean, you're gonna verify yourself as the legit one anyway, right? No! Former owner of Twitter's X handle tells me how he didn't sell the account. Twitter took it. They offered him some merch. There you go. Read the article. The previous owner of the X account didn't say any of this. Some merch and to meet with management if I like, he told me, referring to what the company did offer him in its email. It's unclear if the swag would be Twitter or X related. Oh well, guess that's how it goes. Australia has 1 state, because they have 50 states that are the size of most countries. Very vague to say that you're from one of basically 50 country-sized states, eh? I'm from Europe would be a near equivalent. So, do you think it would be vague to say you're from Australia? Australia has 1 state, and yeah, I probably want to... Hold on. Wait a minute. Boy, oh boy, there's sure a lot more than just one of anything down there when you look it up for 4 seconds. Tea is not made from coffee beans, therefore it's not a coffee. Well, you're not from the U.S., and you still speak English, so same thing. I'm from England, and so I speak English. No, you speak British. I'm French, not stupid. The USA was founded in 1776. You think the English language didn't exist before then? I feel it's toxic and actually causes skin cancer, and Big Pharma lied to us saying the sun causes skin cancer. Did George Washington have skin cancer? No. Did they have sunscreen? No. George Washington literally had skin cancer. It was removed in 1794 by Dr. James Tate. What? Hang on a minute. Damn. A 2-second Google search, source being the National Library of Medicine, a government site, says that he survived to face serious illnesses, including anthrax, pneumonia, and skin cancer. Good God. I mean, it makes sense. I get it. No protection other than hot, open clothing back then. Tenant was using my Netflix, confidently, incorrectly asserts sharing is allowed. Wait, what? Netflix was working yesterday and other days. Today it's asking to set up a new account. I'm amazed it ever worked. Netflix doesn't permit a single account being shared between households. Well, I think they used to. They even tweeted saying love is sharing a password. Just because the new rules have finally started going into effect doesn't mean that they didn't endorse it a little bit. I don't even use my account, my mother does. I basically pay for it for her. Netflix isn't included in the rent. Really? It has been working, but today it is not. And yes, you can share Netflix account. Of course you can. We sure could, but they're assholes and they changed the rules on us. Running is way more mental than physical. Huh? Most humans on Earth physically can easily run a 7 to 8 minute mile. They're just mentally not strong enough to do so. If you're a teen/college-age man running a 6-minute mile, it's possible for most. In this situation, you'll be dead if you don't run, so the mental barrier is non-existent. What? Nah, the average person's physical cardiovascular endurance is not that good. It's not a mental thing. Very true. And I don't know, if you're talking about like a fight or flight situation, sure, a bunch of people can do incredible things when they're full of adrenaline, you know? That kind of negates a lot of stuff, but hey, over the next couple days you're gonna feel it.
Hey everyone, it's me, Robin. I don't mean to scare you like this. I know I normally don't show my face here on MK. I just wanted to pop in really quick and let you guys know that I started a new channel of my own. No, I'm not going anywhere here on MK. You can find this new channel at the link in the description below or in the sub box area of the main MK channel. I'm right down at the bottom of the page with the other crew. Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to the content you came here for, and I hope to see you over on my new channel. The question was, what's the answer to 3 plus 3 times 3? It's the audacity of the nice try, though, for me. I don't even know if that's how you read these equations out loud. I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. How the hell is it 12? The way she said it could have been 12 or 18. We don't have an efficient way to verbalize parentheses, but the pause kind of made it seem like the times 3 was separated. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. The question is 3 plus 3 times 3, not 3 times 3 plus 3. Nice try, though. Okay. I've learned to avoid those kinds of Facebook posts like the plague. They infuriate me. Even the people who know PEMDAS and comment the correct answer do it so proudly or even with a little bit of a smug. Like, congrats, you got an entry-level math question right. Ah, PEMDAS, I've heard that in a while. Definitely read some tidbit about it somewhere, but now they're thinking they're an expert on it. You should look into what a calorie actually is. They determine a calorie by combusting food in a device called a bomb calorimeter? Whatever. By measuring how much of that particular food they need to burn to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Okay, now you tell me what that has to do with human nutrition? Does your body burn food to raise your body temperature? And is that how we metabolize food? Excuse me? Are you stupid? The UK is the country. Yes, it is, dumbass. There's a capital for each. There's not for... No, capital each for Wales, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. But London is the capital of the UK and England. Northern Ireland. Just say Ireland. Seriously? There's Ireland, the country, and Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. Different things. Northern Ireland's part of Ireland. Why don't we ask Irish people about this one? Do they have any feelings here? The last comment is technically true. Northern Ireland is part of Ireland, or part of the island of Ireland. This isn't the whole thing. They meant politically and stuff. I know they weren't talking about actual location. Give it time. Lycanthrope doesn't mean werewolf. It means a person that changes into an animal man. It might also be just an animal person, but classically meant a were-rat, were-bear, werewolf, etc. That becomes a half-animal or full animal under certain circumstances, such as a full moon. Google says Oxford Dictionary lycanthrope a werewolf. Also, the guy is hairy like a werewolf in the comic. I almost read comments. I link Oxford Dictionary. You link Forgotten Realms Fandom Wiki. You win. I showed an example of what I said. I win. Lycanthropy literally comes from the name of the fucking king of wolves in Greek mythology. It's literally a king's name. He was turned into a wolf. A person who turned into an animal. Try Google. Okay. Lycanthrope, which traces back through Latin to a Greek combination of like, from lycos, meaning wolf, and anthropos, meaning human being. Alrighty then. That's no moon. Oh, Exploring the universe from a backyard in Arizona, astrophotographer Andrew McCarthy captured the International Space Station slipping across the moon's face, gently kissing the Tycho crater. Image credit, Andrew McCarthy via Twitter. That's no moon. It's a space station. Yeah, good joke. It's a space station passing in front of a moon. So eager to troll, you can't bother to find out what you're trolling. Typical Jackaloon. You know? Jackaloon is a new one. I think I'll use it. Meanwhile, in your eagerness, you may have missed this. Jackaloon is actually adorable. Fact. God has never made a single drop of alcohol. The earth has never produced a single drop of alcohol. 100% of all wine and alcohol is manufactured by volunteers.
dictionary? I'm sure we've got our own version, but we didn't write it. Bro, we wrote the dictionary. Be quiet. The most used dictionary in the world is the Oxford English Dictionary. It is also the most used in America and the one that Harvard University asks its students to use. The Oxford English Dictionary is written by professors at Oxford University in Oxford, England, and is published by Oxford University Press, also in Oxford, England. Also, the first ever dictionary was Robert Caudry's Table Alphabetical, written in 1604, published in London, England. I mean, yeah, I get it, I'm stupid, okay? I didn't choose to be born in the U.S., I hate it!
You're the idiot of Facebook, bud. It clearly says spaghetti. I'm a...
Introducing Chipotle's new high protein menu. It's real protein you can want.
Yeah, of course your financial plan can help support the Ruby Runners, the family, and
Ocean conservation. Plan your finances for the people, causes, and communities you love with Grabin, where money meets more.
Grabbing for tires is to really run me the wrong way. That's before I went to TireRack.com. I chose mobile installation. A technician brought the tires right to my house. Almost finished, sir. Take your time. I'll just marinate. TireRack.com. Where tire buying should be.
I'm gonna just do the Facebook equivalent of r/a subreddit link. Yeah, by the way, it's this your, but you're right. No, it's not your with an E. Oh, education system, why have you failed us? Leaves are for trees, not books. You take leaves from books? Not pages? Well, Drew, it's a pretty common idiom used across the English-speaking world. I'm sure you could use page and still impart the same meaning. That's the beauty and horror of the English language for the literal thinkers. You take a page out of someone's book, not a leaf. Taking a leaf out of someone's book is not the phrase. Well, Drew, Google is your friend. Yeah, okay, so I did actually Google this because I wanted to be sure I was on the right side, because I've made the mistake in the past, and I'll never admit it. But, yeah, both phrases are accepted. This is more so a case of what came first, the chicken or the egg, the leaf or the page. But doing what everyone does when something is shared on Facebook. In r/anarcho-communism, I've been to quite a few climate protests. Proceeds to catch a short-distance flight. Yeah, nice. Well, he says in the article, I carpooled my way from Graz to Vienna. Like, did you read the article? Yeah, he carpooled from Graz to Vienna to get to plane. It says, I carpooled my way from Graz, Austria, where I live, to Vienna, and met some interesting characters along the way. One was a German expatriate who wanted to catch a flight to Cologne, where the carnival was fully underway. He went to go to Vienna for a protest, not a flight. He carpooled there and met another person who was getting a flight to Cologne. Why don't you read? You know it's a good thing to do. It benefits you. It is spelled paid outside of America, as in Australia, Britain, and other English-speaking non-American countries. I'm sorry, where's this place where Britain has two T's? Is this an alternate reality? How dare you disgust me? You disgust me. It is spelled paid outside of America, as in Australia, Britain, again, why? And other English-speaking non-American countries. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Obviously incorrect. You will like this one. Another delicious offering to the subreddit gods. I just need someone to explain to me why airplanes don't board back to front. When you stand up, you press down harder, so you weigh more standing up. Well, you don't weigh more standing up, but your weight is spread over a smaller surface area, which applies more pressure. It's true. People weigh more standing up. That's why if you truly want to lose weight, sit down. Crawl around everywhere on your butt. That's how you lose weight. Make everyone at the gym jealous of your progress by walking around as if you're a dog with an infection on your butt. Or maybe it's, pepper from Mildly Infuriating. $4.95 fries at Buffalo Wild Wings. How much extra do they charge you to cook them? Well, if you have to ask, can't afford it. Yeah, how much extra for them to clean their vats? The black specks on the fries are deposits from burnt-up stuff in the vats, indicating that they need to replace or filter their oil. My god, that is an over-analysis. Today I learned that The Witcher 3 isn't an RPG because you can't make your own character. While this game is fun, it can't be compared to Witcher 3. There are multiple subplots in The Witcher 3 that could have been fantastic games on their own. This game blows Witcher 3 out of the water. Witcher 3 doesn't even qualify as an upgrade. Can't make your own character. To be clear, this is about Hogwarts Legacy. You are entitled to your completely wrong opinion. I mean, it is entirely factual that Witcher 3 isn't an RPG. It is an open-world action-adventure game, not an RPG. The whole point of an RPG is creating a Some people are passionate about things, aren't they? This is what the largest dog breed in the world, Asian Shepherd dog, looks like. It is used to protect livestock because it can easily defeat wolves. The chain around his neck used to anchor the USS Enterprise from the looks of it. Yeah, it's just a Halloween decoration.
How dare you question the validity of this chain?
That is undoubtedly a metal chain around the dog's neck. It is also undoubtedly being used as armor to protect the dog's throat from the wolves. His brain is absolutely destroyed to protect its flock. The extra links in the front of the animal are undoubtedly for extra protection as the dog swings about while engaging multiple targets. I also doubt the woman feeding the animals a half a bolt decided to drive at the gag store and hunt down the giant fake chain to make the absolute unit appear more unit-like.
Downvote me all you want.
You're wrong if you genuinely think that a working animal is wearing a plastic chain that one hasn't been destroyed to shreds by the tank of a cocaine in his head. It's a fake plastic chain. 2 pieces, Halloween chains, plastic chains, prop toy. Here's a lake. You go outside. Well, I'm from Ulster, and I have no idea we moved from the island recently.
Ulster is not an island, Poppet. Has any Remainer seen a map ever?
Alright, we get it. You hate people from Ulster. This made me sad. Never give an infant honey, as it'll create botulinum floppy baby syndrome. I saw this exact thing in my trauma career. The second the mum said she made homemade medicine based on honey, I turned to my doc and said, botulism. We, sadly, could not save the baby as the mum had waited way too long to get him to us. Me and my doc went outside after working on the baby for 2 hours and just cried together. A genuine plea for caution. Let's see some mothers take this personally.
Whatever, lol. Make up more stories. No baby has died from honey. No, it's not possible, lol. I don't need to Google everything like you. I pay attention in life.
You are today years old when you learn that determiners such as most and least work with plural nouns. Good to have knowledge that others want. Used to be prized highly before internet and AI. Still a worthy goal in my opinion. More than a worthy goal. Knowledgeable people tend to surround themselves with other knowledgeable people. Learning is the most healthy and worthwhile of basis for adult relationships. Well, then let me teach you something. It's spelled basis. Redditor proves doctors wrong. If you want to get some sleep, so what? It's your duck, and urine is sterile, so you can't get sick from it.
Why? What is the context?
Apparently only men can be colorblind? Misogyny gatekeeps once again. How did you become colorblind since women are not colorblind by birth? Actually, that's a myth. Women can be born colorblind. It's just more rare for them to be red-green colorblind.
Not a myth, because I have been to doctors and have colorblind children.
Okay, that's great. What, do your children not have cancer either? I guess that means cancer doesn't exist. On a post about the Columbus Blue Jackets hockey team.
Blue jacket is literally a racist term from the Civil War to represent the Confederacy, but your wokeism is so freaking stupid you don't even know that.
However, the name officially refers to Union soldiers of the Civil War. A 1997 dispatch story about the name's unveiling noted that Ohio sent more soldiers per capita to the Union Army than any other state did.
And no, sir, you're wrong. The Confederate wore blue. The Union wore red. You're wrong.
I love that their profile pic has been censored with Dumbo. Redditor learns how color works. Oh, Reddit. If we're not careful, someone will make a Today I Learned post about the ocean not actually being blue. Huh? Are you under the impression that the ocean is some other color? The ocean isn't actually blue. It absorbs all the other wavelengths of light. Blue is what's reflected back until you hit a certain depth. Correct. I mean, if you live close enough to a major city, most of the water's just green anyway. What do my fellow South Americans have to say about this?
South America is not a continent. It's a region.
America is the continent. I hope you're joking.
Bro, tell me you are being sarcastic.
Bro, Googling is free.
Not trying to be hateful. I truly hope people are happy doing anything they want to do, but I won't stand for incorrectness with personal feelings or facts. What's this doubling down as a result of?
First, I want to say I'm happy for anyone that does anything to make themselves happy. That's not what I'm doing here, but
Proceeds to judge and shame people who do something that makes them happy.
men don't have reproductive organs.
Wait. You can change the pinia to a vagina, but they are still men in the inside, no matter what you want to think. Period. Well, even dismissing the stupidity that this needs to be a political issue, neither side is going to agree with you from the very first sentence you made there. I always argue that Gary Oldman is the best actor of his generation because more than half the movies I've seen him in, I don't know, it's Gary Oldman till the credits roll. He is a chameleon on a completely different level. No, it's definitely roll. Roll is a verb. Yes, it sure is a verb. You're right. The credits are rolling, not rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, complete confident incorrectness. Flat Earth numbers are so wrong on so many levels. Water doesn't curve around a ball. It's always level. There's no proof of rotation, and not one single satellite sent out to space has ever shown us the globe spinning. A time-lapse video, moon landing has been debunked, etc. I mean, I could barely get good cell service walking down the block, but the president was talking to guys on the moon through a telephone as they played golf up there. By the way, NASA and the whole gang has admitted they lost all the technology to get back to the moon or leave low Earth orbit. It's not a single argument, more like a million obvious signs throughout my life where I just know for a fact we don't live on a spinning ball. Also, no construction disregards a level surface and accounts for curvature. Never happens. I'm an engineer. Oh, it's great to know you managed to get through engineering and still think this. What a future we look forward to. What do you think about this? NASA was born in 1958. 1972 is the year they show us around Earth. How did Hollywood know what the Earth looked like before NASA? 1927 globe image before NASA's in 1972. You know, if we eventually ever make it to another planet and civilize it, make a society there, I do not doubt that after a few generations there are going to be people who say, Earth never existed, it's just a lie by the government to control us. I mean, here's a globe from the 16th century. Everyone has literally known the world was round for centuries. Round? Yes, I agree. A globe? No, impossible. If gravity exists, tell me how birds can fly 1 meter up the sea. Gravity do not attract birds? No, they always fly left on the Montenda. Read aeronautics. Bird wings counteract gravity because of their structure. Okay, so gravity can keep billions and billions of water around the globe, but birds are not under the law of gravity. And you really think your explanation is scientist? One? Okay, what about a supertanker? If a bird in flight stops flapping and folds his wings, you'll see gravity take over. No, you were wrong. You will see the density of the bird falling, not the gravity in action. Oh.
Ranger knows that if you're a school custodian, cleanliness is your top priority. That's why you can rely on Ranger for a range of cleaning products and equipment, from disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Ranger, for the ones who get it done.
Before starting my journey at WGU, I transferred from a community college. It kind of gave me the chance to get my foot on in the door. I had this many credits to finish at WGU, but it just gave me that flexibility to be able to do my courses whenever.
Learn more now. Zach wants to remind you, taxes are due soon. Let's get them over with.
And what influences density, huh? Why is density an issue regarding things falling? Conservation of mass, bruh. Their reply wasn't even grammatically correct. You definitely need to have passed English and maths not just for university, but for any future job. Is this comment satire? I can't tell. If not, you spell past as ass in the context of your sentence. Oof, out of all the comments you could reply to that just expose you as the person they are talking about. A little science lesson for the idiots at the Global Warming Conference. Iceberg? Ocean. Iceberg melts. Ocean level remains the same. True, very valid, clearly proven by science. Oh, what's this? Except some ice sits on dry land. Oopsie. I think some of us do forget that the Antarctic and Antarctica are actually islands. They're not just giant blocks of ice. Guy tries to scold someone over verbiage, doesn't understand words. Sorry, just had to Google to double check the pronunciation of this word. It's verbiage. One time I literally had a metalhead tell me, I don't really listen to music. I mostly just listen to metal. Disclaimer, I know that metal is music. Oh, versus figuratively or hypothetically telling you? It's fun to pretend not to know that people use the word literally, emphatically. That's not what empathetic means! Completely missed the mark. Don't even get her started on seatbelts. What a car crash looks like at various speeds. Oh, if they'd stop making cars out of fiberglass and plastic, there'd be more protection. Cars used to be made of metal, and people weren't dying in car accidents like they are today. Cars are being made out of these cheap materials and sold at ridiculous prices when they're nothing but a death trap. There needs to be laws against this. Paying an arm and a leg for a car that crumbles when hit should be against the law. In case you are curious about this, the reason they crumble and fold is because they're designed to absorb the impact. If we still use metal cars like we did back in the day, the only thing to absorb the impact of the hit would be your body. Essentially, it's like complaining about seatbelts because they hurt your shoulder when you get hit. Live artillery shells. Ironic there was no such thing as live artillery shell in the 1860s. They used projectiles. Not much of an archaeologist shrapnel invented the design that popularized his name in the early 1800s, and several live shell designs were in use during the Civil War, including Armstrong and Hotchkiss rifle shells. Live shells are being found all the time. Some estimates think over 1.5 million live shells were fired by artillery pieces in the Civil War, and as many as 20% of them failed, leaving a lot of unexploded ordnance out there to be found. I'll be honest, I had to Google Major Shrapnel to be sure that wasn't just a troll. I genuinely didn't know it came from an actual name of someone. Your uterus is a cave outside of your body. You have a weird way of thinking about something that is natural. Who poisons your mind into such a harsh way of thinking about your own children that your body can have living in your uterus that is technically outside rather than inside a woman? It's like a cave. I'm sorry, but how is the uterus outside of the woman? Take a look at the diagram of a female body. The vagina is a passage into the uterus, a hole leading to a hole. The hole itself is vacant until something urethrs in it. The placentae is formed as a wall due to the pregnancy, and the baby attaches to the placentae. Yeah, I said words, guys. If you're gonna be a pedantic butt, be a correct pedantic booty. Otherwise, you're just a booty. Looks like a lot of people still don't consider Bush bad. That would be the people who do not read or use commas in the word don't. Like yo! Sir, that's an apostrophe. If you want to call someone out for grammar, make sure you have it right as well. Piepero. How is that an insult? If someone could do that, that's honestly impressive. They've got some really good muscles down there. No such thing as unskilled labor. That is unskilled labor. Wrong! Gale broke. Pay attention in class, please. Gale breaks, but go off, I guess. Oh, dude was so confident as well. Wow. Yeah, he was right the first time. Break is not a word. Not just the ridiculous claim about the number of partners that women have each year, but also the bizarre math on the men's numbers.
This is literally true. Depending on the source, women have 100 to 250 partners per year. Sure, this was on the high side of the estimates, but definitely not out of the question. Meanwhile, men have only 20 to 30 partners per year on average, with 90% having less than 2, and 10% getting all the female attention. It's such as a plain and simple.
Are you serious? You think women have it on every 1 to 2 days?
On average, yeah. Obviously, some will be lower.
I've said it 1,000 times, but the very insilly men who complain about women who seem to be able to get whatever they want would absolutely do the same thing if they were considered as attractive to that standard. They don't want a fairer or equal chance to be with these women. They just want their privilege. Mount Everest has relocated to South Dakota.
There's no celebrities on Mount Everest or anywhere in the wild in America.
Mount Everest isn't even in America. I'm Canadian and I know that.
It's in South Dakota.
This guy thinks he knows more than the dubbing actor of Goku in Spanish. The Japanese version is not dubbing. It's so sad that a dubbing actor doesn't know what his guild does. Mario, friend, giving voice to animated characters is also dubbing. What a pity you give. Dubbing is the substitution of dialogues in a soundtrack for dialogues in a different language than the original. In the production of animated cartoons, the original audio is known as audio guide, and it is recorded before the beginning of the animation. It is not dubbing. Called me Cheeto fingers and everything. Too skinny. And imagine skinny shaming someone. Yeah, you forgot an extra O. Learn to spell before criticizing someone. Yeah, exactly. I didn't spell anything wrong, Cheeto fingers. And I don't have to imagine I already did.
Everyone says I look 16 plus, but I'm 14.
They're lying to you, babe. Is there? If you're going to try and insult a child, love, get it right. Oh, the irony that you're both wrong. Nice try, but slavery is illegal. Has been since 1865, actually. Uh-huh, United States laws certainly apply all over the world, don't they? I'd like you to show me the exact line in the 13th Amendment that says this only applies to the U.S. You know, in this day and age with the state of America, I sometimes believe that surely they don't still think they're like the center of the world anymore, right? Like they're just another country trying to do their best to survive. Nope. Then you see this, and you realize that sort of ego has not gone away. A cooked steak is full of blood or pus because I say so. That's how people get sick, not having their steak well done. Eating blood, it's not healthy. Blood carries carbon dioxide and other waste materials to the lungs, kidneys, and digestive system to be removed from the body. That steak isn't done. There's no blood in the meat after it's processed. That is actually called myoglobin. It's when the tissues from the muscles start to break down. So that's not blood. It's blood or pus. The steak isn't cooked. It isn't blood. Lol, do some research there, bud. Call it what you want. I say it's blood. The question was 10 take away 10 times 10 plus 10.
10, bro. Whoever got it incorrect should be put in elementary again.
Ooh, confidently incorrect. You're literally the one that got you wrong. The correct answer is to ignore it, because if you don't believe in maths, it can't hurt you. How's the maths going? Oh no, it's back! Lol, algebra? We can see without math magic that 0.99999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999 is still technically 0 until it actually makes a full 1. It is not 1. It is 0.9999999999999999999, which is still 0.
I think it's pretty gross people breastfeed. It's not milk, it's body fluids. Might as well feed your little one your pee. We have bottles of formula. That's meant to feed your baby. Stop giving your body fluid a classy name by calling it milk. It's not milk. Milk comes from cows. It's almost like saying almonds make milk. Idiots everywhere. And what do I sign up to get that sponsorship from baby formula? This guy has a weird take on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Also doesn't understand how wild animals work. If everyone's needs were met, we would procreate ourselves to oblivion. The Earth needs people to expire so that we do not overpopulate and deplete all of our resources. Wrong. If this were true, the wealthiest humans would be expected to have the most children.
But reality is the opposite.
We don't feed wild animals because when we do, they tend to overproduce. Humans are no better.
That is absolutely not why we don't feed wild, nor even stray animals. I studied evolution for one whole day, so I'm an expert now. After doing lots of research today, I never realized just how shaky and inconclusive all the evidence for human evolution is. So many blanks we filled in, predicted, and guessed with our own imaginations. So many missing links, so many chronological inconsistencies.
Which you think is their motivation to
Dive into the research themselves, become someone who studies that field, become an actual expert. No, they'll just fall back to their Bible and say that's the actual evidence all along. On a post of an animation of a planet crashing into Earth, claiming its shadow should be blue because the planet is outside of Earth's atmosphere. As someone who puts meticulous work into making settings look realistic, fantasy or otherwise, it always bugs me that the shadow of these planets is black instead of blue. During the day, Earth's atmosphere makes black look like blue. It's not like space suddenly turns blue during the day. That's Earth's atmosphere. It's why the moon during the day always looks like a hunk of white instead of being white and black. So unless this planet is already within our atmosphere, it shouldn't have a black shadow like that. It should be blue. Also, what do you mean, what would you do? Die, that's what. That makes no sense. Following your logic, a sun...
So that's gonna be the end of this YouTube video, and bye.